Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but the crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha, and you can find them at everlevelconcrete.com.
I need some Everlevel. My driveway is looking bad.
I don't think there's a bigger decrease.
Someone come help this man.
I don't think there's a bigger decrease in people talking about Everlevel from when you go from Greg McDermott to Matt McMaster.
Well,
I mean, just the drop off.
We say it more. Actually, that's probably not true, Max. That commercial is always
that commercial is always running.
All right,
so
maybe
it's a good commercial, good spot, good read from Greg.
Great
hey,
commercial.
I'm Greg McDermott here talking about Everlevel Concrete Repair.
I was
Feels
wondering
very natural.
if that does Huss become the face of Everlevel?
I think it was the thing that got the deal done.
Okay, yeah, right. When I come back, I need that Everlevel.
We're coming for breaking news here that Alan Huss can't get a deal done with the Creighton Blue Jays. Apparently, it's coming down to a deal with Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha.
That's crazy. Everlevelconcrete.com. Sorry, is this on? I apologize.
I have a beef with you.
All right.
I've been here for close to 8 months now.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you know.
Wow, 8 months.
Yeah. And I've had some questionable takes, but I feel like I've had some really good takes as well.
Probably. I haven't heard them, but.
And I've said some smart things on this radio station.
Like I said, probably.
Whether people want to admit it or not. And I feel like I've had some good moments. And you said yesterday, because I listened to the Connor Happer show right after the crossover, you said that 20 seconds where Matt just named a bunch of soups was probably his best 20 seconds. Okay.
I played it back for the boys of the afternoon show later on. Everyone was really impressed.
I feel like I've had better 20 seconds than just naming soups. Okay. I feel like don't you two make that face.
No, I'm out of this conversation.
Give me a nominee. I'm just trying to think of a better 20 seconds.
When I predicted that Nebraska was going to come back against Northwestern and Fred
that was
Hoiberg
on Twitter. That didn't count.
But then that was a good 20 seconds. The next day when I reveled in it, that was a good moment.
No, nobody likes when people revel.
I was on the Florida train. I was talking about Florida basketball a lot, and I predicted them to win the title.
Nobody cares about your predictions.
Well, apparently they do when I say that Notre Dame wasn't going to score a point.
We care about your incorrect predictions.
Cares about that. I've had some good Nebraska football, takes about the coaches and whatnot and the players. And the how Mike Eckler is so important.
You could be correct. You could be wrong, whatever it is. But the beauty of a beautiful radio moment is not baked in. It's not rooted in whether you're right or wrong.
You don't think it was better than when I asked Doug Nodgaard if he worked at a bank?
I think it's rooted in your passion for the subject, and I believe that your passion for soup is unmatched at this station.
Thank you.
That would be true.
Possibly worldwide.
That would be true.
You went to lunch with Michael Severe yesterday, and there was soup.
I had a great clam chowder.
Looked like it.
I picked the clam chowder.
It was a bread bowl, though, right?
No, it was
okay.
a regular. It was
All
one of those clay bowls, which is always a great bowl to eat soup in because I think it adds character.
Good bowl. Good bowl.
And it's easier to melt cheese on the top of thit's types of bowls as well. It's a good bowl for eating soup.
Good bowl.
Got good soup takes.
What's going on, guys?
Got good soup takes.
Gary's like, don't have good football takes, but he got good soup takes.
Your soup takes are like, there's no competition.
No, none at all. You're on that island.
You should lean into that as like become Mr. Soup.
First off,
Mr. Soup.
Mr. Soup.
There's your graphic for the day, Josh. Matt McMaster is Mr. Soup.
Talk amongst yourselves. I have work to do.
Mr. Soup would be great if we're being honest. Look, I would like to be Mr. Sports or, Mr. Football.
No.
Or Mr. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think anybody's tuning in to 1620 The Zone because they want to hear about soup.
You want it to be more specific. You want to cut out your very, very specific lane. And I believe you have found one. You have found one. So if ever anyone has an opinion on soup or everyone.
You have to run it by me.
Anyone wants to, make a nice pot of soup and say, hey, I wonder if this is good or not. I better take it to...
You would be the taste tester.
I better take it to Mr. Soup.
You'd be the moderator on the Reddit board for soup.
This is things that I don't want. I don't want to do these things. I want to be on TV talking about sports.
Soup. There's
No.
soup channels too.
No. Well, God. I've been on a Beat Bobby Flay kick on the Food Network. Such a good show. Bobby Flay has a daughter named Sophie Flay. She's so good at being on TV.
So
Souffle?
good at being on
No,
TV.
not Souffle. That would be a great name for Bobby Flay's.
It
kid.
would.
That would be ideal.
Souffle.
Sophie Flay is good at being on TV.
Yes.
Poll question.
Let's see.
Because
I wonder why you might
She's
think
just very
that.
good.
I wonder why you might think
What was
that.
her name?
Sophie Flay.
Sophie.
I didn't know that Bobby Flay had a daughter until yesterday, and now I'm a big fan.
She's just really good at being on TV.
She is. She's on ABC7 somewhere.
in LA.
Los Angeles.
Mm.
That's the station that has all the car chases, right?
They do. They are one of the TV stations that, yes.
They're one of the few
The
that still has the helicopter.
Wonder how she got that
no,
job.
every station has a helicopter in LA.
In LA.
Or
in LA.
they,
Yeah.
Or they use, like,
There's one helicopter that everybody.
Well, there's one guy that will do
All the
traffic on
stations.
radio and then anything newsworthy.
Yeah.
There was a station in Kansas City. I'm not sure if they still do it. They used to do Friday Night Lights by helicopter. So they would fly over stadiums and they'd be shooting.
That's awesome.
And then they would land and then they would shoot highlights, get back on the helicopter and go to the
that's
next
insane.
stadium.
We know as good as anybody how difficult it is for those TV reporters to go to 7 games in one night. I mean, there's a lot going on there.
It is the worst.
We got to get Andy a helicopter.
Let's see. You could go because let's say you're at Kinnick, so you're at 90th and Fort.
You need a landing spot for each of
Let's
these
see, you could land
places.
at Kinnick down the hill.
Land at the baseball field.
Yeah, you could.
Land on the
And then
baseball.
just come up the hill.
Same thing at West Side. You could just land right on the baseball field.
It's true. At Burke, you could land in that
The
practice field
grass
that's
parking lot or the soccer
Yeah.
field over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's
behind where the scoreboard, like closest to Dodge, between
Yeah.
Dodge and the football
there's like a
stadium.
softball field and
Yeah.
a soccer
Yes.
and a
Yeah.
soccer field up there.
Prep might be tough to land at Prep.
About
Well, they don't
s-
play at Prep, so
Yeah, they play at
they play at Burke.
they play
So we're
Burke
good there.
now. Central would be very difficult. Central would be very difficult. You might have to just
You could land in the open lot that used to be the Civic Arena. That's supposed to be a grocery store.
it'd be
Oh,
a
yeah.
little bit of a trek up the hill. You'd have to get your hiking boots on. But yes, that's true. You could land right there.
I was
These are
on a-
all great ideas.
I was on a football broadcast once, and the anchor is going on the air, and he goes, "I have 3 scripts that I didn't write. You got to write them. I'm going on right now." And so he's literally on the air, like doing like the football things. And while he's doing the football stuff, I am writing his scripts while it's happening because he had to go to like 6 different games.
Did you get any
before.
credit?
Oh, I got a nice, touch on the head. Attaboy. Great job.
How about on the air?
No, they didn't say shout out Matt McMaster for writing our script.
Unbelievable.
That's, I don't know. I always tell this to AK, and Clayton and Adam have the same thing, is when you're doing those Friday night shows and you don't have a shot sheet and you're kind of just doing them,
Just
reading off the
riffing it.
screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's difficult. And people want their scores and they
Mhm.
want their highlights
Well,
and they want their cheerleader to go, Friday Night Lights on Channel 7.
I'm glad that seriously, I'm happy that they still do it because, some of the other parts of the industry have just given up on covering a variety of different high school games. I remember opening up the paper on Saturday mornings and, whatever Husker stuff was in there, obviously for the preview for the game, but all of the stories from Friday nights and all the box scores and everything from all the games on Friday nights, that was great. That doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, I think
Sports
space,
section's like a page now.
yeah, I think space is an issue. And they don't have as many people like covering games.
They don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't.
There was nothing like
very
being
sad.
at a good football high school and being on pins and needles when the top 25 in the Sun Times came out. And you were like, oh my God, are we going to get named? Are we going to get picked in this super
Mhm.
top 25? And then you're number 22. And then you hang them up on the wall across the high school. Not even on the team, but you feel an incredible sense of pride.
Absolutely. Did you see the paper? They put us in there.
I know.
We're
That
in
was
there.
the talk of the town.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of you, our discussion earlier on a crossover about Uber Eats. A friend of mine here in Omaha sent me a picture of his food yesterday. There is a local takeout place that is popular with Uber Eats has now started putting a sticker on the food that says, "Why use Uber Eats? We deliver."
Oh, interesting.
I like that.
I do too. I thought, ooh, and he did not. He actually got it delivered from the store. Somebody picked it up, but it was on there. Why use Uber Eats? We deliver.
That's a great question. It's hard to know which restaurants even do deliver anymore. Who does? Who does?
I hate this though because there's some restaurants who do the opposite, where you call them and you go, "Hey, I want a delivery," and they take your phone as if you're like delivering, but then they
just
service
outsource
it out
Yeah.
to Uber Eats, and then if you have a problem with your order, they're like, "Well, it's not our fault. We go through Uber Eats," and then you can't even contact the Uber Eats person.
It's very
Really?
sad.
Yeah. Oh, that's happened. Like Lou Malnati's, they started doing that where
I don't get delivery anything.
they outsource it towards DoorDash, and so they basically just put the order in the DoorDash, and the DoorDash goes to delivery. And so it's like if you have a problem with your order and you call them, they're like, "Whoa, we don't."
So who gets the tip?
Well, you just tip them in cash, or you tip them whatever. You put the tip in when you automatically pay. So I guess the DoorDash guy gets.
There's only a few places that have like a fleet of cars, anymore.
I ordered Domino's pizza last week and they go, "We only have one delivery driver and we can't get you your pizza." And I go, "That's my problem? That's my issue?
It's about to be.
You let me. That's what happened. But then they sent me a nice coupon to get a free pizza. So then I used that coupon to get a free pizza.
To get more delivery?
To get
where it didn't get delivered?
I couldn't find, apparently there's no other Domino's that delivers than the one on California.
Just go get takeout. Just take your own car.
No,
You're
I
your
don't
own
want
delivery
to.
driver.
No, if I have a coupon, that allows me to get free stuff and delivery, I'm going to do that.
But then you have to pay for the delivery probably.
I don't want to walk to I don't have a garage like you guys do where I just get to walk 8 steps and I see my car. I have to take a long walk.
That's legit. How long does it take to get from your apartment to your car?
Probably 4 minutes.
That's that's hefty.
Yeah.
Like because I'm on the opposite side of the building.
Yeah.
So I have to walk all the way across the building.
And then you have a space, or is it?
I have my own separate, parking space.
Okay.
Like
so it's not like a free for all. Like I got a good space. I can't leave for 3 days.
That's a big one.
No, I have my own spot, but I have to walk all the way there. And it's just sometimes it's like, man, I don't want to take this walk and then drive all the way there.
Totally.
Then
agree.
get my pizza, then come back, then take the pizza, then walk all the way back. By the time I have my pizza all ready to eat, it's been 40 minutes and it's partly cold.
Yeah, that's a deterrent. Okay.
So if I have a free coupon, if I have a free coupons, I'm going to do it that way.
I see more. I think the most active delivery drivers in this town are Jimmy John's.
Yes.
Jimmy John's drivers are everywhere.
But even them, I'm pretty sure it's the employees' cars, and they just slap the Jimmy John's thing on top of that.
That's pretty sick.
Sick?
I mean, you can just put a Jimmy John's thing.
Didn't you
on
guys
top
want to
of
be a
your
delivery
logo?
driver?
Hell
growing up?
Hell no.
No.
I delivered for a month for a Chinese restaurant.
I wanted to be a bus driver.
Own car. It was great.
I would have liked to have been a bus driver, but not a delivery driver.
How young were you when you said, "I'd like to be a bus driver"?
When I was taking the bus to school, like probably.
Oh, you wanted to be like a school bus driver?
Yeah, school bus driver. Yeah, not like a city bus driver.
You actually could right now.
I could.
Yeah, around this schedule.
I suppose I could, and still, like in the morning.
That wouldn't be a fun, like a pseudo retirement job.
They get there. What time they get there? Probably in the 4s.
Yeah, 4:35.
I can see you being 62 with a couple of grandkids, and you're retired, and you're like, just to get out of the house, I drive a school bus.
Yeah.
It'd be nowadays it's stressful because what if you leave a kid on the bus?
Oh,
you got
it's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure with all the kids on the bus and you're driving.
I'd crumble.
If I had to go back and do something different, I would have had my parents move to a house that was outside of the barrier. Like I lived too close to school to ever ride the bus.
Oh, gotcha.
So we never.
Did you walk? You always walked?
Yeah. Or when you get older in high school.
There were some days where I was jealous of the kids who walked to school. I was like, oh, that looks fun. But I took the bus from kindergarten to 8th grade. I think every year. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
What if you would have had to take the bus to Central as a freshman? Would you have?
No, I don't think that was available.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know where the Central buses went around town, but remember, I went to Miller North for the first 2 years, so I got a ride there. And then by the time I went to Central, I could drive.
I took the bus up to 4th grade, and then when I went to Catholic school, they didn't have buses for Catholic schools, and so you just had to figure out. At least my Catholic.
Well, they just have minivans.
No, you just had to find a way. You just had to find a way to get there, whether it be a bike, by foot, by bike, by car, by grandparent. But then I did take the bus to high school, for like 2 years.
Nerd.
It was my only option. I had a very fluid way of how to get to school. It was always a gymnastics trying to get me home.
See, I was thinking you were going to be more of like the city bus driver guy. Connor just is going up and down Dodge all day, driving the Orbit bus.
That's a tough job.
It would be quite the
being the Orbit driver.
Move
what are you going to get lost?
This ain't Chicago. Ain't nobody riding that thing.
It would be quite the move for me at this point, for all the things that I've said about the Orbit buses, for me to be an Orbit bus driver. Would
you like to learn how to drive the streetcar?
Be quite the hypocrite. Now that kind of sounds fun.
Yeah.
That kind of sounds fun. What about like a train?
You have to drive the streetcar?
Well, I mean, there's somebody's got
to have a conductor.
Yeah, you got to have a conductor.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh.
In the front car.
It's like the trains at the, Chicago, the L.
The L has a conductor.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
There's a guy.
I think I never see him.
Oh, he's in the
They're
front.
in the front car.
Yeah, he chooses when to close the doors.
They get on the PA.
He chooses when to close the doors.
I don't think he gets on the PA.
I'm on the city.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you see how little I take.
And you can't hear anything they're saying. The next stop is
city website is hiring for streetcar operations manager.
Wow, no, too much. I want to be in. I want to be in there.
Well,
you want to be boots on the ground.
Hold on, 105,000 minimum.
Oh,
whoa!
Salary could go as high as $143,291.20.
That is ultra.
Scroll down to the requirements.
Wait, you get bonuses.
A lot of essential functions, a lot of required knowledge.
I got some knowledge.
Education.
I've ridden in the streetcar in Kansas City.
I know about Omaha.
I've ridden on the cable car in San Francisco. I know how that works.
Do any of the people that make decisions have like a daughter that I could date or anything like that?
Jeez.
Well, I'm just saying that's my only shot. For being honest, I haven't ridden streetcars. I don't know much about public transit, and I have zero experience. So my only option is through the family.
Work is performed in an office setting amid normal conditions of dust, odors, fumes, and noises.
Like, what kind of office are we talking about?
You might have to work with a smelly guy. We don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm prepared for that, clearly.
Odors?
Whoa.
I got McSoup over here.
Screw you.
Stinking the place up.
I'm the best smelling guy here. All right.
Oh,
stinky boy.
I am not a stinky boy. You guys keep spreading rumors about me.
Okay.
Just imagine for the select, 3 people in this town who get selected as streetcar drivers. I assume it'll only be 3 people because there's 2 cars, and they just roll constantly up and down the street from
not a very big area
downtown to Blackstone, just up and down Farnham all day long. That would be awesome. I would do that for several hours.
Sit in an air conditioning booth,
hanging out with basically nobody. Who's going to go on that thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excuse me. I need to go to. We need to go from the Cottonwood Hotel to 16th and Farnham. Okay, cool. Nobody wants that.
Well, if they're just now hiring for the operations manager, they're probably not at the conductor phase.
Okay, so the operations manager will hire the conductor.
I would assume so.
Gotcha.
By the way, did I see it correctly that it was $450 million that this thing was going to cost?
That's right.
Oh yeah.
The word boondoggle comes to mind.
The mayor lost her job because of it.
How is this a $500 million project?
It's a very nice car.
Is it?
Let's go ask the people that are in Midtown, their businesses.
Oh, well, it is a hellhole trying to drive through Midtown.
Now,
I live right next to Midtown.
It's going to be free, right, to ride?
Shoot. I don't know, man.
Maybe you could get an easy pass or something like that.
Kansas City, it's free.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hopped on the Kansas City, took it to Crossroads once from downtown.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
It's awesome because it goes places you
want to go. Well, it goes
want
from
to
Union
go,
Station all the way to Crossroads.
not forcing you to visit your business owner buddy's new business.
Just imagine when they put the new Royal Stadium downtown. Definitely, they're definitely going to do that. That would be helpful.
Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
Sam writes in,
Hi, Sam.
how do we get the exclusive deal to have 1620 as the exclusive audio provider inside of the streetcar?
Well, we were trending that way, and then Josh chimed in. And
Whoa.
Well, Josh is in with the new mayor,
Dropping truth bombs.
as is Soup over here. Soup McGee. And
Streetcar will be free to ride.
okay,
Just call me Soupy. All right? Yeah,
Soupy.
just call me Soupy.
Soupy.
My last name, I might as well be Brian Campbell. All right? Just call me Soupy.
Let's do it. Let's get some 1620 in that streetcar.
Yeah.
Do you think the person gets to decide what they want to
Hey,
put on the radio that day?
Hey there,
Yeah?
your next stop is into Midtown, and then our stop after that will be down to the Charles Schwab Field.
The
Thanks for
person will
driving
not
the streetcar.
Have a Chicago accent.
Streetcar will be approximately 3 miles long with projected travel time of around 17 to 19 minutes for a one-way trip. The system will
What is
feature
happening?
13 stops along the route
oh, wow.
and will operate at intervals of 10 minutes during peak hours and 15 to 20 minutes during off-peak
Okay,
times.
can I just say something
No
here real
way.
quick? As somebody who's new to this town and would like to be in this town for an extended period of time.
Yeah.
That sounds dumb.
Okay, so
That's
hold on.
3 miles. 3 miles.
Let's see
and
both
it's gonna
sides.
take you 19 minutes.
Let's get both sides here. I had actually never heard a positive take about the streetcar, but
I mean,
here's
3 miles,
here-
and it takes 19 minutes.
here's Sam. He says, as a Midtowner, it'll be great. The Jays pregame options all of a sudden explode. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, for
You know.
4 months out of the year and 15 times in a given calendar year, it'll be nice.
Game days, I mean, that's basically the only time that anyone uses any sort of public transportation. Unless you're in like a big
That's
city.
not how
you
it's
know.
supposed to work.
No.
If you have public transportation around a big city of 1 million people, it's supposed to be something that everybody can use, and so it could be like more like it's easier to get places, and you get less cars off.
In this case, it
more-
connects the Creighton people to places that aren't Let It Fly or
Okay.
DJ's Dugout.
Real quick, how many cars is this streetcar gonna get off the road? Like how many less people? Like how much
Well,
traffic?
none because
will
you
it-
have to park and then ride it.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. It might
Like, that's the
save
point.
some
That's-
congestion downtown.
That's part of the point of public transportation, where it's supposed to alleviate costs for people who like are supposed to be transporting around the city, and it's supposed to take cars off the road to make it quicker for the people who can drive
we'll see how
around
it
the city.
goes. We'll see how it goes.
I don't think it's going in the right direction. As much as I hear more and more about this thing, the more stupid it sounds.
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Let me introduce you to Jay Noddle. He'll be calling you shortly.
Yeah, you're not going to win the transportation operator if
I'm
that
just saying.
attitude.
It's just
I think
19
eventually- I think
19 minutes for
eventually they
3
wanna-
miles.
Get it all the way down to Charles Schwab. I think that's the plan.
I would think so.
Because in this town, there is a section that only thinks about the 10 days in this town,
Mhm.
not the other 350 plus.
Gosh, the residents of the neighborhood over there could ride it to work.
We have events all the time. I mean, the NCAA tournament's coming back in 2 years, right?
Yeah.
People staying out at Blackstone or something like that. They'd probably feel like they're in a big city.
Oh, a streetcar? Hell yeah.
Streetcar right at the. I don't know where it's supposed to end, but
I
I
think
assume
right
by
by
the.
Omaha, the new building.
Oh, it only goes that far.
That's right, Con.
Yeah.
It's 3 miles.
Yeah.
Can we take it like 5 more blocks?
No. Well, not right now.
Too much stuff already there, so we can't.
Take it to the Gene
Hey,
Leahy
it'll
Mall.
cost you another $50 million.
Yeah, we can't
apparently.
drive in.
Okay, but all right. So Sam, if he's taking it to Jay's game, if he lives in Midtown, he's taking it to Jay's games. Like you got a lot of wood left to chop on that walk.
Be a little bit cold.
Yeah. Maybe get one of the scooters. Did you hear they're riding the scooters at an extreme rate?
Yes, I saw they set a record during the College World Series. The
That's
Lime
right.
scooters.
Hold on. I don't have the ability to zoom. It looks like it goes to the chai.
Okay, there you go.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
that helps.
Like how? Like
along-
what road?
Oh, 10th Street. That won't be a huge problem ever.
Yeah, 10th.
Installing that line of track won't be.
So the chai is.
Wow.
10th and what?
It'll go from. Oh, what's that street? Right, it'll take you right to the front door of the chai.
10th and Capitol.
Okay.
10th
So
and
hold
Capitol.
on here. When are we going to
Even I
tear
know
up
that's
that
bad.
road?
Well, it's already gone.
We're too far gone.
10th
Okay, because
and
we
Capitol.
all like Blackstone, and Blackstone has been torn up, and Midtown basically has been shut down.
You driving through Midtown is hell.
We already got the Harney Bridge. We got that so streetcar can go across it. When they start tearing up roads downtown for this, oh boy.
Hey, remember when you're going to the Creighton game tonight, 10th Street is closed.
But you could get on the streetcar.
How are you going to cross
It's
the
not
street?
closed for that. Look at that. Yeah, right out in front of the chai. Basically right across from lot B, right? Just right out in front.
I'm sorry, I can't think of what that street is called.
It'd be oh gosh, the one right in front of the Hilton there. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Cass, I guess, and then Capitol would be, the one right in front of the chai with the DJs on the corner. I believe that's Capitol.
Look, I'm all for public transit.
Yeah, Cass, you're right.
I really am. I think public transit's a great thing, but it's only 3 miles. Like that is not.
Well,
That's the same thing in Kansas City, though.
the thing is
that's not a lot.
they want to try it on this small scale and then expand it. Which
That's a lot of money for 3 miles.
Yes.
Great question from famous explorer Ferdinand Magellan in the YouTube comments.
Hi, Ferdinand.
Why not a street boat? Now, if you want to talk exploration,
You know what?
Ferdinand Magellan's got you covered.
I'd get on the boat.
What's that? What's that one town in Italy that's got that? That is
It'd be called Venice.
Venice.
Yeah.
I modern day Venice. I mean, that's what New York probably will turn into with the rising tides.
You think New York's gonna sink?
I mean, I've seen the breakdowns. I've seen the breakdowns on Twitter.
Matt's been
I
watching Twitter. He's been saying,
I think Miami
New York
might have a
is
better shot
sinking.
than New York.
Have you seen the videos though of part of Manhattan and apparently in 2060 is going to be like partly underwater.
yeah, that's all right. 2060, we got time.
I'm going to be 58. All right, I'm still going to have.
You want to go to New
hopefully-
York?
Hell no. I don't want to go to New York.
New York is awesome.
I have to go to New York though to visit because my sister's going to Fordham now. So it's like
Nice.
they're trying to do. My family has this great idea. Hey, we're going to do Thanksgiving in New York.
That sounds fun.
Wow.
No, God no.
Check out a St. John's game.
I have no interest.
Why not?
I just too big, too many people, too expensive.
You lived in Chicago.
Yeah, but I lived in the suburbs. We could
There it
manage
is.
through that. Well, I did. We're being honest. We went down to the city once or twice a week.
New York is awesome. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
I
Many
shoot.
presidents have went to Fordham.
Yep.
Nebraska played Fordham recently.
That's right. They had that
Well,
one
not
guy
in-
who made 40 tackles.
Yes.
Not in New York though. They played him in Lincoln.
Greatest
That's
actor of
true.
all time, Denzel Washington, went to Fordham. Played basketball there, I believe.
Okay, I'm not keeping score here.
The
all right? I'm not-
Rams. The Rams.
Mhm.
Fordham Rams. They have a Ram.
Yeah, I think they played in the NCAA men's basketball tournament recently.
once again, guys, this isn't convincing me to go to New York anymore. I already have my opinion.
How do
Too
we
big, too many
convince Matt to go to New York?
Better than Chicago.
What is the thing that he would like about New York?
Better pizza.
There's stuff that is like the McRib
You can
all
fold
over
it.
the place.
Better bagels.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
And definitely better pizza.
Better public transportation. People
Oh,
watching.
Yeah.
Oh, people watching for sure. They got that. on us. Better pizza, yes. Not tavern style. I'll take a tavern style pizza from Chicago.
Obviously, they're not making tavern
Um,
style pizza in New York.
Vin
But
Scully
I
went to Fordham.
love a good New York slice. But I mean, it's just too much. It's too much city. I like enough like it's just too much city for me. It's too many buildings. It's too many streets. It's too many people.
Live on Long Island. Go.
I think I do great in Long Island. I think I do
you would-
incredible.
they would love you on Long Island.
I think I do good in the Bronx. I think I do okay out there.
In the Bronx.
Yeah. You don't think I do well in the Bronx?
Well, I just think
Whole question.
you're trying to get away from the city. and
Oh,
you're-
is that too much? See, I don't know the boroughs that well.
You might as well.
Go out to White Plains with Colin and White Plains.
I don't-
Colin and White Plains
Okay.
emails into the show now. LFG Can't wait to show Matt a real city. Colin and White Plains.
BS.
Well, that's a Westchester County. It's
yeah,
nice and slow out
I'll go to
there.
Vegas before I go to New York. I'm going to go to Vegas.
You can buy Babe
You can
Ruth's
go to New York.
apartment.
You can go to New York in Vegas.
$1.6 billion. Yeah, New York. Lovely pizza there.
Ride the roller coaster.
Yep, you could get really
you can
sad
see the
after.
Statue of Liberty.
You could be really sad there after Creighton loses to Tennessee in the Sweet 16. I did that once. That was a bad day. That was a bad day.
Are you talking about the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower that Gru stole in Despicable Me 1?
I don't know the.
It's a great movie.
reference. Gru stole the Eiffel Tower from Vegas.
Yes.
To Paris.
A big get.
Paris is a little down the road.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
from New York.
I saw your tweet about me being in Vegas and me being incredibly distracted.
Yeah. A lot of lights.
I'm not like that. I'm not like that. I mean,
We gotta go over there.
no.
Somebody would come up to you and say
look.
you would have to go there, and you would go there, and then another person would
Then
come
they
to
would
you 4
hand you.
seconds later,
Then they would hand you a promotional card. And you'd be like, oh.
and you would go there.
Then you get a mixtape while you're walking across the bridge from MGM to New York, New York.
That's right. Don't
And
get
I would
stabbed.
definitely listen to it,
Oh, I did that once. I bought a basketball mixtape once.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was the
from
guy who
in Coach Carter.
Yeah, it was
right?
the guy who played. It was the guy who played
Coach Carter's son?
Ty Crane in Coach Carter.
That's sick.
He was on the bridge in Vegas, and I was like, "Oh my God, it's Ty Crane." Turns out he got in some trouble.
Yeah.
Later on.
After you bought the CD from him?
Yeah, but I bought the CD. We popped it in the DVD player.
Pretty
and-
good.
Back when hotels had DVD players and DVDs existed, and yeah, he was in some commercials. He was in a Gatorade commercial, and he was also notably Ty Crane.
Look, I border from being
I don't want to be the first LeBron James. The next LeBron James, I want to be the first Ty Crane.
I border between being, pretty hyper and getting distracted pretty easily and being pretty calm from time to time.
Vegas is perfect.
So I think after I get rinsed at, the MGM or the Bellagio or the El Cortez, that I will become pretty non-distractible. But if I know this with me, and this is just reality, and it's not a very promotional thing for me to be saying to people, but I know that if I win money at a casino, that money is not coming back with me to Omaha.
That's the point.
Like, that money will be spent back into the Strip of Vegas.
That's the point. It's an investment, Matt. You go there once, you take a large bath, and then you go back for free for the rest of your life.
How large of a bath? Because I don't know if I have the dollars. to take
Whatever's
that big
right
of a
for
bath.
whatever's right for you.
Yeah.
I think I have to save up.
Whatever's
Everyone's
right for you.
bath is different.
Well, I like mine with the Mr. Teal salt in my bath. If
Classy.
you get
Epsom salt guy?
Well, the eucalyptus. No, it's incredible. You
Hey,
put that in
You're
there.
a bath guy?
I love taking.
You ever have an ingrown toenail?
Yes, I
You
have.
look
They
like you've
suck.
had an ingrown toenail before.
Yeah,
What does that mean?
He does.
What does that mean? That I've gotten a pedicure? Are you trying to shame me? For
Where
getting
is this
pedicures?
going?
Well, I had an ingrown toenail once,
Okay.
but you kind of look like if I was taking a poll of people in the building of like, has this person had an ingrown toenail or not, you would be really high on the list.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I can't really explain it.
It's like porn.
Are you
You just know it when you see it.
Are you insulting me?
Kind of, but I had an
Okay.
ingrown toenail, so it's fine.
To be fair, is there a moment when you're not insulting me?
Rarely.
Yeah.
Yeah, rarely.
Yeah.
Few and far between.
Hey, that's why we're friends. At least you're my friend. I don't know if I'm your friend,
Oh,
but
we're
you're
friends.
my friend.
Many people are friends. We're all friends. We're all friends.
We-
Poll question up at Happer Show. Does Matt look like he's had an ingrown toenail? Not does Matt look like he
I'm gonna
is an
be
ingrown toenail?
honest.
no.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I've kind of been put through the ringer of being made fun of for the last 48 hours. But anything for anything for the content. I
I thought you were going to say I'm done.
That's where I thought this was going to. I was like, wait,
no,
hold
It
on.
I
ends
enjoy
today.
it. I enjoy it. I just want everyone to recognize that this has been a little bit more than usual over the last 48 hours. Because I have multiple people who are still tweeting at me saying, "Hey, Rockford, Matt."
Well, it's summertime, and you
There
volunteer
was
some
somebody
things
in the morning
summer because
who
the
was-
topics aren't always about sports in the summer, and so you kind of we
Am I-
learn a lot about each
Am
other.
I the perfect summer co-host with my randomness? We just have topics.
Little
Topic
bit.
alert. Matt likes soup. So soupy. I'll take it.
And he lives in the burbs. That's where KD tweets into to me. He says McMaster has to start claiming the suburb he's from after dropping that line. He's not from Chicago. He's from that suburb.
Guys, from the moment I got here,
I don't like the city.
I told people, no, I don't like New York. New York looks too big, okay? It looks like there's too many people there. It looks like it's too expensive. I like my city that I go to once or twice a week. And then I go back to the burbs. But the minute that I started working here, I said I was from Skokie, Illinois.
A suburb.
Yes.
Got it.
It's incredible the amount of people that think they know so much about Chicago in our YouTube chat that are telling me where I'm from and where I'm not from. All right?
Navy Pier?
You don't know me, dog. All right?
The Beam?
All right? All right?
The Beam.
You don't know me. All right? You don't know where I'm from. All right?
People call it the Willis Tower.
It's the Sears Tower. It's the Sears Tower. And by the way, it was an absolute disgrace that mayor allowed that city to not have fireworks on the 4th of July.
Los Angeles?
No, Chicago. Absolute disgrace.
He said no to fireworks?
Yeah. Well, they didn't do it on the pier because they're like, oh, we do it every Wednesday and Saturday, so we'll just do the Saturday fireworks on the Saturday and not on the 4th.
So you knew if you heard something on the 4th of July that it was, in fact, gunfire.
Yes.
But it's good that you live in the burbs, because if you lived in the city, it's a hellscape, according to the Twitter.
That's right.
So you're in the burbs, so you're safe.
I've always been safe, yeah.
Very safe, man.
You know, behind my gated community, you know.
Very, very safe, man.
Not, by the way. Gary always makes the gated community joke, which, you know, look up District 72. It's a nice place.
There's no gate.
There's no gate.
Okay.
No gate whatsoever?
There's a Shell gas station and Starbucks that has a drive-through in the heart of my community. But no, not gated. There's no gates.
Okay.
There's a lot of fences.
We're getting the picture.
What a beautiful little school here.
Yeah, we should do a
Fairview South. Yeah, that's Fairview South.
Trip.
That's where I went to school for 5 years, and then I got kindly asked to leave.
You went to this school?
I went to that school.
Wow.
That exact school.
Wow.
So if you can see I can direct you to my house from there, actually.
Wow. Look at this.
Yeah.
Google Earth. What an invention.
So you keep going down that way, Josh. You keep going down that road,
yeah.
And then you eventually take a left. You will run into where I grew up.
I don't know how to do that on this.
You just got to keep clicking.
I want to go. Oh,
there you go. You just keep going down that road. You're on. I believe you're on Laramie.
That's right.
Now.
I am.
So if you're on Laramie, you're gonna want to eventually find LeClaire. Take a left.
Okay. Left on LeClaire.
Left on LeClaire. That is a great band name.
Playing video games on Google Earth.
Have a great weekend. I won't make fun of you all weekend.
No, I want you to, because if you don't make fun of me, that means you don't like me.
Okay.
So
that's right. That's right. Gary, have a great weekend. I probably won't make fun of you either.
Thank you, but you don't like me, so that's fine.
Not true. We all love everyone here.
That's not true.
We are 48 days away from waking up.
Stop.
With everybody waking up together.
Say it correctly. Say it correctly.
No.
We're 28 days away from being 20 days away.
20 days. That's when it gets hard.
Really? I think it's easy.
I think once August comes around, that's when it really starts to get difficult. Right now, we're just hanging loose, having fun.
What do you mean by difficult?
I mean that the days get a little bit like, oh my God.
You went too far down.
It has to be.
This is annoying. We need a football game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. See ya. That's a crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair and Home on everlevelconcrete.com. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Chance for scattered showers Friday morning, then scattered storms possible in the afternoon, mainly before 5 o'clock. Warm and humid with highs in the mid-80s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV Newswatch 7.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% on.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you.
Howdy.
Are we changing minds on the streetcar yet? Or is Josh still out on it on principle?
I'll give it a ride.
Give it a ride.
I'll try it.
Admittedly, it probably won't be very useful for people who live in Northwest Omaha.
Yeah.
But you got to start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start somewhere. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is it. We're gonna do it. Unless John,
unless something goes horribly wrong in the next 4 hours.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
It's happened before.
But I think we're going to do it a whole week of shows with both of us together.
Mm-hmm. Now, next week, we're going to try and do 5 shows together.
All in studio.
Yeah.
That's the next step to this. Yes. And then we'll be near the end of the month, and there will be some vacations, and then it'll be Big Ten Media Days, and we'll be rocking and rolling.
And before you know it, we'll have a cavalcade of strangers come in and tell us why their team sucks.
That's right. Yeah, when's that start?
Monday, August.
You're starting
4th.
to work on this already. That's the day after. The hot sauce heist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
one of those segments will be with a beat writer for Cincinnati.
I'll be back with a fresh load of hot sauce from Pancheros.
Hell yes.
And we'll be ready to go for football season. Then the countdown will officially be on. But right now, we are still in early July. Next week's the All-Star game. Get ready, folks. Takes will be had.
It's going to get weird.
Today on the show, Bryan Munson will join. Brian Christopherson still. That is the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We'd love to hear from you all today on the show. As always, 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Looks like my camera came unplugged. Sorry about that.
All good.
You can tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor Josh at 1620thezone.com. On the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers. I'll get my camera plugged back in a second, but right now I have that one that is miraculously still attached to the ceiling after nearly being blasted off a couple days ago.
Very strong Dan hit it.
Very strong man named Dan hit it. But it looks like it's in good shape up there. And thanks for joining us today and this afternoon. Good luck getting your lawns mowed at some point. But I will say this, Josh, needed that rain.
We sure did.
Needed that rain. Didn't need the tree limbs down, but needed the rain.
Oh, you lost some?
I don't have any trees, but neighbor across the street has a big one in his front yard. And they are hanging low a little bit. A couple of them are hanging low a little bit right now. But we will prevail. Keep our heads down and keep on moving throughout the summer. Look at that. There we got some crabs in the chat and some salutes in the chat. Ferdinand Magellan writes in, what's the hot dog heist? It's not a hot dog heist. It's a hot sauce heist. And it's when I steal a bunch of hot sauces from a Des Moines Pancheros.
It's a tradition. We do it every year.
A tradition unlike any other. That'll be coming up on Sunday, August 3rd this year. So don't worry. I'll bring in all the spoils when we come back on Monday. And we talked to that Cincinnati beat writer. Elsewhere today on the show, we never got to that topic yesterday. Do you want Project Texas Tech to work? We can talk about that today. The NCAA Tournament, not expanded yet.
Keyword.
But there were meetings, and it is a viable option, apparently. Nebraska's Brice Matthews gets the call to the big leagues. Congratulations. Coincidentally comes up around the time of the Major League Draft, which is coming up this weekend. I believe the first 4 rounds are on Sunday, and that will continue into Monday. So maybe we could take a look at some local players. Not a lot in the top, I don't know. I'm not sure if any of our local schools or local high schools will have any top, any first dayers this year. But we'll see. You never know after you get beyond, kind of the first couple rounds of the draft. Do you want to play Colorado every year is the thing that everyone's talking about today. So we will oblige them with that topic and a couple other things, including Najee Harris blowing up a firework in his own face.
Superficially, though. Don't worry. He's fine. He just blew up a firework in his face. We did not have a Jason Pierre-Paul situation. Thank heavens.
Every year there's a famous professional athlete who has something happen to them on the 4th of July. It was just, who was it going to be this year? Apparently it was Najee Harris, but he avoided serious injury in this case. And he was able to keep all of his fingers, unlike Jason Pierre-Paul.
Didn't stop him from playing football, though.
No, he kept playing.
JPP.
No. And everyone just, every time anyone looked at him, they thought, wow, that guy's hand is really screwed up. All right. Welcome, everybody. We are back on a Friday. Glad you're with us here on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, analysis, and commentary in a clean, concise, and disease-free way.
See there?
What a relief. Thank God.
Wonderful. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
We love topics on this show. Many topics from many sides.
Yeah.
Teresa writes in a topic. What's your favorite Kansas City for lunch spot? I like how we call it. I like how we call it Kansas City for lunch. Teresa's going down next Saturday. Are the Royals back? Do they start the second half at home? I know they're home against the Mets this weekend. By the way, the Mets fans are triggered. They're at the Marlins next weekend, so a little out of town Royals action. The Mets fans are triggered because the Royals are naturally honoring their 2015 World Series team this weekend, and a variety of different things surrounding that, including Eric Hosmer bobblehead on Saturday against the Mets.
When the hell else would they do it?
Yeah, and they're like, disrespect. Like, no, this is pretty much a great time to do it because you don't play the Mets at home every single year. You don't play the Mets I guess everybody plays everybody, but you don't play the Mets at home every single year. So it's the 10-year anniversary. I think it's a great opportunity to honor the 2015 championship team. And why not throw some shade at the team on the other side? Now, I wonder if there will be any I wonder if there will be any Lucas Duda references. I wonder if there will be. Now, Lucas Duda, after throwing that ball away, allowing Eric Hosmer to score in Game 5 of the 2015 World Series, he later became a Royal.
Awkward.
It was weird. Yeah. He was also a storm chaser for a moment when I'd never seen anyone want to be playing professional baseball less than Lucas Duda in that exact moment. But throw some shade. I like it. Anyway, Kansas City for lunch. So what I usually do, and I probably need to come up with a little bit of a new routine, but I have gone to all the barbecue spots and, seen a little bit of everything over the years. Like the thing that I find most convenient and the thing that I find easiest to pull off is we leave about 8:00 in the morning, get down to Kansas City, basically right at 11, right when the doors open, get a reservation right when the doors open at Q39 in Westport. And then, go in there, eat lunch for about 20, 30 minutes or whatever it takes, 45 if you're having a big lunch or a couple beers or something like that. And then you have your day about the town.
That sounds nice.
It's a lot of fun. And I haven't been to a Royals game this year. And I'm sad about that. Look, famous explorer Ferdinand Magellan is back.
Hi, Ferdinand.
Grinders downtown is great. I think Grinders in Crossroads is what Ferdinand Magellan is talking about. Some explorer you are. Yes. Sandwich shop, excellent. Excellent. A lot of good stuff at the Crossroads, a lot of good food, new stuff that pops up all the time.
Sandwich.
I love food.
Experience
Josh.
live music. I don't want live music. I want a sandwich.
What do you think about food?
Love food. Clearly, look at me.
Now that's a topic. I'm a big food guy. I love food. Lots of good barbecue around town. You really can't go wrong. It will be good. Obviously, I assume if you're going to Kansas City, that's what you're looking for. If not, like I said, can't really go wrong.
Cubano.
Oh yeah, Josh.
This place has got a Cubano.
Yeah, there was some talk in the morning show this morning about sandwich Mount Rushmores. I heard the McRib was mentioned in that conversation, which
I don't know why.
I would not put that near my Mount Rushmore, and that would be a really difficult list for me to come up with. It's just hard.
Now, would you go types of sandwich or specific sandwich at specific restaurants?
Well, what am I allowed? Is this a list of specifics? Like,
it's your parameters.
Sandwich instances in my, like, we could do that too.
Oh, one time I had a sandwich at this and it hit so hard.
Correct, because that includes the ambiance and how we were feeling on any given day. Like, I always feel like a road sandwich is always better than a home sandwich.
Definitely.
Sandwich in a new city, probably always better than a sandwich in your city. Now that's not probably functionally true, right? We have great sandwiches here in Omaha, but there's something about going to a new place and seeing a new sandwich and saying, I want that sandwich, and throw a little bit of that classic whatever city zhuzh you got on it.
Best burger I've ever had in my life is in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had the great sandwich tweet from a couple of years ago when I went to.
Oh yes,
we flew into and out of Atlanta when we were going to the
sick joke
panhandle of Florida, and I was like, I think I just ate the best sandwich of my life, guys. And then I just logged off for a little while, and people are like, "What the hell?"
Chef West famously made us sandwiches for our birthdays here in the studio.
Chicken parms.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chef West. Have you seen his TikToks?
Yes, I have.
He is reviewing the restaurant.
Have you seen his covers of magazines?
I have. I saw a lot of it at the College World Series.
Also has an adorable little baby.
That is awesome too. Matt writes in.
Hi, Matt.
On the Equitable Bank inbox. Fogo de Chao. Did you go to Fogo de Chao in the plaza? Would you recommend that?
We've all been.
Although I did just get an email from Shake Shack. There's a Shake Shack in the plaza. Apparently today is Free Fries Day. Shout out to Shake Shack. I love Shake Shack.
I do too.
Love Shake Shack.
My wife
has
weighed in on sandwiches.
All right.
It's a love we both share. First Jersey Mike's sandwich after having the child.
Yeah, because the women and the not eating the sandwiches.
Yeah, you can't eat the deli meat.
I would, the first time I left the hospital after our child was born, the first place I went was Jimmy John's. And I got some Jimmy John's. I stopped off at home, cleaned up or whatever, and brought Jimmy John's sandwiches back. And that was a special sandwich. That was that could be on my Mount Rushmore of sandwich experiences. Mm-hmm. That was a special sandwich, a truly special sandwich. Captain writes in, when the sandwich has oil and vinegar, I always ask for extra vinegar. Yeah, you could get dangerous with that. Yeah, you better eat it right away. That's the only thing I'll say.
Sometimes we'll let the Jersey Mike's marinate for like an hour or two.
An hour or two?
Yeah.
How soggy are we talking, Josh?
Nah, it can hold up. It's
a lot of bread. That's true. Matt also follows up on the inbox here. Permandy Bros sandwich at a Pirates game. That's got to be on the sandwich Mount Rushmore. My experience at the Permandy Bros this a year and a half ago.
The Jack Golke weekend.
That was a hell of a time. I loved that sandwich. And then I found another Permandy Bros in a different part of town. And then I went there and got more Permandy Bros.
Did it hit as good?
No. Nope. Nothing like the first one, Josh.
Okay.
Nothing like the first one, and nothing like the OG Permanente Bros, the one downtown or whatever.
I've never been. I'd like to.
Pittsburgh, good town. Never been to their ballpark except for their team store.
Those are probably the two things I would do in Pittsburgh. I don't know what else I would do. Oh, trips, if you're around.
You want to go to Pittsburgh with O-Trips?
I would like him to tell me what else to do in Pittsburgh.
Benoit writes in,
Benoit.
a sandwich is always better when someone else makes it. Period. I have seen this going around over the last couple of weeks, and I believe that there is a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that. I just like when a sandwich just appears in front of me. Anyway, that's sandwich talk. Good job, everybody.
Now I'm hungry and can't do anything about it
Nope.
until
Yep. Get your
2:30.
Get your Uncrustables out of the weird refrigerator that we have in the corner. That's the only option you have right now.
That's right.
Unless there looks like there's something else in there right now, Josh. What do we got?
Got a little deli sandwich from the Hy-Vee gas.
That will not go on your Mount Rushmore.
It will not.
Of sandwiches.
But it will get me to 2:30.
That's the only thing that matters in these times.
Mm-hmm.
Quick break. Bryan Munson from Husker Online joins us next. We'll ask him about his favorite sandwich.
Oh, yeah, Texas boy.
And Cruton on 1620 The Zone.
Bryan Munson,
Hey, long call. Comfy left zoom buster. 63 bang Z Maui. Alert. Paradise Z Burger Y wrap on one.
Husker Online on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right, Friday, and we got a lot to catch up on with Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. Joins us now via the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Hi, Munson. What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
What now? There's a variety of different angles to this question. I'm going to start you off this way. Can you recall a time in which you were overwhelmed by a sandwich that you ate? What is your best sandwich eating experience in your life?
Okay. That's a hilarious. I was not prepared for that.
Nope.
Question.
Surprise.
There is a restaurant down here, and my buddy loved to take me to it, and he no longer is around. But they had a chicken parm sub, and it was enough for basically 2 meals for me. I have never seen a gargantuan sandwich like that before in my life, and it was just monstrous. You literally just like, you knew if you were ordering this thing, it was going to be enough for you to kind of take your seconds and put it in the refrigerator and good to go tomorrow for lunch, because it was just a monster. So yes, chicken parm sub in Frisco, Texas, at Luigi's Italian Restaurant.
Look at that. And now there are certain sandwiches that just stick with you, and that one sounds like the one for you.
100%, because I have tried, and it not only was it monstrous, but it also was delicious, and it had both things going for it, both components. Because usually you could say like, oh well, the size was there, but it was garbage, right? So in this case, it knocked out both sides of it. You were completely happy warming that thing back up to have it the next day. But yes, it was that is actually making me super duper hungry. And I don't know why we decided to go ahead and jump in on this.
We always do this, and we mess ourselves up too, because we're trapped in this room until like 2 or 2:30. And so there's nothing that we could do about it either. So really, we're just going to spend the next 3 hours daydreaming about whatever sandwich experience we've had.
We're going to go ahead and just put on Who Wants to Beat Bobby Flay right now or whatever too on your TV, so you can watch them all cooking up all day long, or Guy Fieri and Triple D, and you're just tormenting yourselves, bro.
I know.
mean, you gotta Uber Eats that.
Although I will say, during this time of the summer, like maybe we'll throw on a Wimbledon or something like that today, or maybe there's a baseball game. But there are times where there's nothing going on, and my go-to that we always end up on at our TV in the studio, if there's nothing else going on, there's no live sports that I care about, Bar Rescue. We just flip on Bar Rescue, and they do showcase some food in there every once in a while. But I really just like John Taffer yelling at people.
I saw a preview for that actually, where it was oh, dude, who's the guy that did Hell's Kitchen? Blonde hair guy. Oh, shoot.
Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay.
And Ramsay's doing it, and apparently, like, they're finding all sorts of rodents and stuff like that. I mean, you could either get to a point like where you're watching all the delicious foods and getting more and more hungry, or you could actually make your stomach turn and say, I'm never going to eat out again, or at least until I can forget about that episode of Bar Rescue.
That's true. It's the power of the mind. We have control over all these things, and it's at our fingertips. Yep. We have a lot to catch up on, Munson, since we didn't talk last week. It was the 4th of July. But it was a busy week leading up to that. A week that saw a bunch of commitments, high profile ones, and then the end of the week, an in-state commitment to Iowa, which sort of put a little bit of a damper on the week, as we've had a little bit of distance from it now, and Nebraska has getting closer and closer to sort of finishing out their class or feeling good about where they're at this moment. I guess what do you sort of take from the last week or so and what they were able to do from a commitment standpoint?
Yeah, my keyboard actually has stopped smoldering.
Yeah, that's good.
We were over there just hammering away on the keyboard to kind of keep up with all the good news that was coming out. So, like, to your point, I think Nebraska got their offensive tackle. The offensive tackle that Nebraska fans were not sure that Nebraska could close on, they got him. They got him Puma, to jump into the class. Is he a Claude Obot? Is he, any of those other guys before? I don't think it really matters. I think what's important here is that in Puma's upside is enormous. He doesn't have a lot of time on the football field. He's kind of a raw product. He's kind of a block of clay, and you get to mold him. But he's got a lot of really interesting things already about like how he's been coached early on in his career that you like. I mean, he's already a knee bender. He's not sloppy. He doesn't just go out there and just overwhelm and smother people. He's got some technique to him, and I think that's kind of the best way to look at it. And then I think, the other takeaway is obviously 12 commitments, 10 of them on the offensive side of the football.
Yeah.
You're essentially filled up on the offensive side of the ball. And we've been talking, 14, 15, maybe 16, spots in the class. It's not going to be a big class. It's not going to get to 20. But, maybe now from here on out, all the names or the positions that we should probably be talking about are either going to be on defense or special teams. I think you're looking defensive line. I think you're looking edge linebacker. I think maybe you're looking for a versatile defensive back that can play safety, maybe do some nickel kind of things. And maybe you have to talk about a long snapper at some point, just depending on how the eligibility stuff works out with Gaelic. So I think that those are kind of my two big takeaways. There's a list of about 7 or 8 guys I think that kind of fit the bill on names that we have kind of crossed over between recent decommitments to summer camps to guys that Nebraska's already kind of hosted for visits, whether it's unofficial or official, that we may see their names re-pop up again in the fall. But I think Nebraska was looking for things to slow down, just like what you and I were, to where we don't have to have impromptu ad hoc calls every 5 minutes because they got a new commitment. They wanted things to slow down too, because I think there's some optimism in Lincoln. And when you have that optimism, you have some juice. And you have that juice, you can go out there and you can approach some dudes because you're having that success and you can go ahead and parlay it. And I think you still have a very good set of a pair of peer recruiting quarterbacks in Dayton Raiola and Trey Taylor that will allow you to kind of go back out there and reapproach some dudes that you may not have had a chance to do before in the past. So I think that Nebraska likes where they're sitting at right now. I think they're happy that we're pressing, that things are being put on pause right now for the time being, and that things will ramp back up again. Probably 3 or 4 games into the season, start to re-identify some guys.
From a location standpoint, I found it sort of interesting as well. I mean, there's already a good amount of Florida flavor in the class. And Puma's out of Chicago. You have you're jumping back into Edna Carr in New Orleans. I mean, these are places where Nebraska has had a lot of success before, and they're going right back to that well.
Absolutely, and I think that Chicago is one of those markets, kind of like a Kansas City, not as close, but I think it's a bit less open, but it's still open. You still have an ability to go in there and get a Taylor, get an Puma, get a Westerkamp. Do what you need to do. You can cherry pick that thing. I think that what people are going to struggle with the state of Nebraska is obviously is you just have the one commitment. There's not going to be another one in there, and realistically, there's not a lot of other guys that are kind of in the border states, 500-mile radius, outside of like Bonwell Whitty and maybe even, like we were talking about with Puma. Everybody else is going to be further away than that. California, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, the guys that we kind of all mentioned before. And I think that's fine. I think as long as the class comes in and Rule says, these are the guys I need to compete and be successful in the Big Ten, I think wins will erase all that, the kind of the identity crisis that's being created by all this stuff. But that's fine. He's serving that one master, like he mentioned in that one press conference. He just kind of said, like, I got to serve one. I can't serve two. And he needs to worry about, being successful and getting the wins. And if this is how he thinks he needs to do it, then he needs to stick to it.
Big picture, and you touched on this a little bit today in your section of the Tunnel Talk, but
the idea that, and like you just mentioned, it's a little bit of a slowdown period. It's a little bit of a reset and a regroup as you gear closer to the football season now. Is Nebraska in position to potentially, finish out this class with players that they would be capitalizing on if the season goes the right direction, right? Like it does feel like all the eggs are sort of in that basket at this point, because there's not a whole lot of names that really jump out to you who are on watch right now. That's okay. Right. They've got their 12 in the boat right now. And then, you kind of see how the season plays out and you roll on from there, and maybe you can open up some new doors. Is that the thought?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. I think you have obviously some guys, a couple Syracuse commitments, a Florida State commitment. You got some guys that potentially seem to be open to being reapproached despite their commitment to other schools right now. I think where Nebraska sits at is obviously they feel comfortable and feel good about the class that they have. They know they have three to four more spots they need to add, but I think there's a lot of things that can play out this fall. And I did actually mention this. I kind of linked the article to it. There's a hot board out there for coaches that are basically, should be feeling some pressure this season. And there's some really good recruiting classes with coaches that are on that list. And those schools could very easily go out there and have a 500 season. And all of a sudden you have more and more questions as the season goes along, pressure gets applied, and somebody gets fired. And I think that's obviously the way things play out every single season. So I don't know if necessarily, you're open to like kind of throwing those schools out here right now, but I think Nebraska has to feel good about where they're at, maybe being a little bit undervalued in terms of like how people kind of look at them to be successful this fall. And they know that there's some teams out there that are going to struggle, particularly teams that are in the SEC, that you have a couple of coaches that are on the hot seat that could end up getting fired. And you need to be able to kind of move quickly and go over there and reapproach those guys that are on their commitment list. So, and I think there's some guys that kind of emerge as the season goes on, that they also want to kind of keep those spots and hold them for them. So, yeah, I think Nebraska needs to feel really good about where they sit with things right now.
A lot of conversation about in-state, obviously, coming off the commitment from Darian Jones to Iowa. Wasn't just that one. I mean, there's 16 ranked prospects in the state, and only one of them is committed to Nebraska at this point for 26. And as we've talked about, the book is almost kind of written on that. Many of them, or all of them, are basically committed at this point. But as you mentioned today, what's the outlook for next year? Like, is this a one-off thing for Nebraska, or is this something where you could just expect them to not have a high hit percentage on the in-state recruits anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the list right here, and it is a little painful. I mean, 15 names on here, all going to Division I schools, only one going to Nebraska. I think there were 3 on here who had Nebraska offers, if you include Jones and Isaac Jensen. So yeah, and it's kind of similar-ish, I think, looking at 2027, where there's 7 guys in the state that already have Division I offers. 2 of them picked up offers last week, one from Northwestern, one from Penn State, and then 3 of the 7 already have offers from Nebraska. So I think it's going to be a very talented year again. I mean, I also put in there, I don't know if it was 12, maybe I went to 14 names that people need to kind of pay attention to, because there's several other guys that are going to get Division I offers. They're already getting Division I attention. They were picking up personalized camp invites. And I do feel like you're going to have as many as 10, possibly more players again in the state next year that had to get Division I offers. So I think it's another really good crop of guys in the state next year. I think there's a lot of athleticism. I think that's the other part too, that kind of gets it there, is that you have a lot of guys with a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism, a lot of 2-sport athletes that really kind of pop, and they're just waiting on their time to kind of shine, and they're going to get it this fall. So I think that you could see as many as 10 guys in the state with Division I offers next year.
Yeah, that's another sizable haul
in state. Looks like it's going to continue that way. All right, Munson, we'll let you go. Enjoy your weekend. Good to talk as always, and keep thinking about that big chicken parm sandwich.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. My stomach's rumbling right now. Okay, I'm gonna go get some lunch and call it a weekend.
Smart. See ya. That's Bryan Munson from HuskerOnline.com. You can check out his section in Husker Online's Tunnel Talk, which is goes up on Friday mornings. Football Tunnel Talk. Football, Josh.
Football.
Remember football?
I am remembering this thing called football. Yes,
starting to get there a little bit.
Yeah.
It's starting to happen.
Hitting a couple of those benchmarks along the way. Like, oh, we're really ramping up.
We got to come up with a date for the Chunkies. What did we do last year? I have it written in my calendar, so let me just go back. It was after I came back from leave. So it looks like we had I'm gonna guess it was the 13th of August last year.
Okay. That'd be a Wednesday this year.
Don't have it on my calendar, interestingly enough. But I think I don't know. If I remember right, we usually shoot for Tuesdays.
Okay. A little more time that day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the 12th.
So go the 12th. Just cautiously subscribe to the 12th.
We'll announce if it changes, but
of August for the Chunkies, which means tomorrow we are 1 month away from the Chunkies. And that's how you really know it's almost here.
And then you'll blink and it's April.
Pretty much. There is Creighton is doing a basketball media availability to next week.
The next week.
Next week, I think it's Wednesday of next week. It'll be like, whoa, this is also happening. Yeah, get ready, get prepared. By the way, speaking of that, I saw maybe we could discuss this a little bit later on in the show. They're busy in the Creighton community. So Peter, Mr. C Mathematics, he made a list of he did one of those $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, 50. You get a $15.
You love those.
I did. I'm guilty on that one, Josh.
Oh, you are.
I'm guilty on.
I thought you actually didn't like them.
I like them. I like them if they're done right. I'm so call me guilty on that one. So
I'll always play them.
Peter tweeted his at us. So this is Mac era starting 5. You get to make a Mac era starting 5. They've had some dudes now. So here's $5. Here's the $5 player. Let's think about this real quick. $5 players. And I don't think I disagree with much as far as who's ranked where. $5 players. Oh, you know what? I took a screenshot of this and I could put it up on the screen so people could see it. How does that sound?
Yeah, I would love to see it. I'd love to play along. I'd love to.
I bet you would, Josh. That's why we're going to let you be able to do that right now.
Spend my money.
All right.
Spending that money.
There you go. Thank you, Peter, for this. Mac era. By the way, did we get that drop?
I forgot.
$15 for a starting 5. The $5 players: Marcus Zagorowski, Trey Alexander, Baylor Shireman, Doug McDermott, Ryan Kalkbrenner. I have no qualms with that. $4 players: Mo Watson, Marcus Foster, Kyrie Thomas, Damian Jefferson, Justin Patton. $3 players: Stephen Ashworth, Tyshawn Alexander, Jemiah Raggi, Echenike. $2 players: Antoine Young, Mitch Ballack, Greg Gibbs, Hawkins, and Kenny Lawson. And $1 players: Austin Chapman, Jahens Maniga, Denzel Mahoney, Kohoff, and Martin Crumpel. Any thoughts, Josh? Okay. I sent mine back. I sent mine back to Peter. You could take some time.
No, I'm ready.
You're ready.
I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yeah, you got to do these quick.
Okay, do it. Yeah, let's hear it.
I got to have Doug and Kalk.
So I thought about a world where I tried to make it work, and I was $1 short every combo I wanted to do. So that's $10.
Yep.
You're $10 down, but you do have the 2 best players in school history. So congratulations.
I'm going to go Grant Gibbs.
Okay. Glue guy.
I'm going to go Maniga.
All right. And now you have $2
$2 for one player, right?
Yes. You don't have a point guard unless Gibbs is running the point.
Antoine Young.
Antoine. What if he steps on the invisible line at Oregon?
I'm willing to take that risk.
All right. So I sent back to Peter. I said, like I said, that my first instinct was to try to make the world where I could have both Doug and Kalkbrenner.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to choose one to have on my team for the purpose of this exercise, I'm taking Kalkbrenner.
Really?
I think he's more valuable. Like I think he's so what I did.
He's the bigger unicorn.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know about that. So here's what I ended up with. Mo Watson.
Nice.
Mitch. Shooting threes from God knows where.
Mm-hmm.
Tyshawn. Krompel. Kalkbrenner. I
respect it.
I have so many lobs. I have a ton of defense.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a ton of threes. I feel as if I have maximum flexibility with this lineup. I have that would be the best Creighton defensive team pretty much of all time. I mean, Kalkbrenner anchoring the middle and then Tyshawn shutting whoever's guard down. And then, Mitch could shoot like Tyshawn shot. I looked it up. Tyshawn shot like 40% from three in his last year here. And so did Krompel, but Krompel didn't shoot that well. And obviously Krompel got hurt. You could make an argument that
no one gets hurt in this world, this game.
But Watson obviously got hurt as well. But Krompel, you could make an argument that Krompel is more than a $1 guy.
Many are.
So I am taking some value there.
Okay.
I know people care about this.
Desperately.
Many do. So thanks to Peter for sending that our way. I look forward to many Jays fans' thoughts on the issue. I think John sent his back, and he had
John
one that
Bishop?
he had one that was strikingly similar to mine.
Wow.
He had Kalkbrenner, Watson, Tyshawn, Mitch. He had 4 of the same guys as me.
Who copied who?
And then he took Mahoney. I had mine in first for the record.
Okay.
All right. So you could send yours into Peter, or you could send them in to us. We can talk about it later if you want. But we kind of just talked about it now. Brian Christopherson from Husker 247 coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, Brian. Brian Christopherson.
I gotta take this. It's Hap.
B. Rooney drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
That's right. It's Friday, almost afternoon. Let's have a chat with Brian Christopherson. Husker 247 joins us down the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline. BC, hello. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Are you happy for, assuming this is the only Scott Frost week of the offseason, are you happy that it's drawing to an end?
Sure. I mean, I don't care if people.
Yeah,
I'm
with you.
We're trying to get to July 22nd, I guess, is Big Ten Media Days for Nebraska. So we're almost to the tape. We've got to sprint hard. But however people want to spend their time getting there, whatever path they want to take, I'm not going to complain about it. But yeah, it was I'm like everyone else. Everybody has the same opinion on it around here. So I guess that's why it's a little bit uninteresting to me.
That's true.
It feels like everybody's like, well, that was a stupid thing to say. And then once you get past that, it's like, well, what do you say?
Yeah, I felt weird because that quote kind of came out at the end of our show on whatever day that was. And so we didn't really get to dive into it until the next day. And I was like, wait a minute, I've kind of heard everything that I just said somewhere. Oh yeah, he needs to take more accountability. How original for you to say something like that. I couldn't think of anything original to really say about the topic after that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it makes me more think of the current head coach, and I guess just the way I feel like Matt Rule, since he's gotten here, has just embraced like what are positives to this place and not complaining about things that could be obstacles. And I think that's one of the things I've been most impressed with their operation with. Now we'll see if that leads to more wins, but I think there's a contrast between Rule and some other coaches I've covered who would spend some time sort of always looking at what wasn't there, and instead of what can we use that is here and accentuate that. And so that's where my mind kind of went. I always thought Frost was a little way too much that way, actually, when he was in Lincoln, where it was always, the stuff that could get in the way was more his focus. And I feel like right now they have an opposite approach. So I think that's the good part of it.
Yeah, there is no doubt that Matt Rule loves being the head coach at Nebraska, and that shows itself in a variety of different ways. Maybe he's hanging out with a cow inside the weight room or something like that. But we've never really had to wonder about if he likes it here or not, because whether he's faking it or not, he makes it very clear to everybody that he enjoys being that guy.
Well, he meets some tough moments well too. I mean, if you think about like when Trev Alberts was leaving, and there was some consternation about it for the couple of days after. It was around that time. People can say what they want about it, but he kind of united people. He put out like the video, the Paul Harvey, so God made a farmer thing, and said that, and he's talked about how this is the essence of Nebraska to me, and how he's drawn to the place, and wants players that are drawn to that too. And so that kind of popped in my head right away. This week, even there was a tough moment, in Lincoln that was going on, and he had a good answer for it. I think that kind of got people back on the right path. So we'll see. Again, we'll see what they got to win football games. That's what it's going to come down to. But there is a definite difference between, I feel like, how they're operating in that building right now and how some other head coaches have.
I'm always interested in what Brian Christopherson is thinking about writing from the actual football standpoint, especially in the lead up to the season here. So today it was on the red zone stuff and how that gets better in 2025. So just under 55% last year, touchdown percentage in the red zone. Worse than 100th in the country, 103rd in the country. And you got all the stats laid out on Husker 247 right now. But you also laid out some key figures in what could be different. I guess when you unpack last year BC, and you think about it a little bit further, I mean, there's never really one answer, but when you think about the first couple of things of why wasn't Nebraska able to turn good drives into touchdowns, where does your brain go first, and what does that mean for 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in some respect they didn't have enough guys who could separate or body guys out. I mean, the receivers, Nair. I mean, Nair had a few plays he made and a few that got taken away from him and showed signs of that. But I think what you're hoping for is that with Dane Key and Isaiah Hunter, you've got a couple, 210, 215-pound guys who are going to know how to use their body in those tight spaces and just win more of those routes and more of those, I guess you'd call them 50-50 balls, where they make them like, actually, that's a 75-25 ball. For me, I'm going to take that. And I think, Ja'Cory Barney's an interesting guy to me, too. He had 3 touchdowns, but they're all rushing, and those count for the red zone stuff, too. Some of that came in the red zone. But I'm interested if, like, in those tighter spaces, if Nebraska does truly have more weapons, if that turns out to be true with the skilled guys, it should open up some good matchups for Riola to explore with, like, Barney or his tight ends in the middle of the defense, when you're down around the 10 to 15-yard line. So they've got to execute better down there. There's no question. As you said, they ranked 103rd in red zone touchdown percentage. What was interesting to me is they were actually 32nd nationally, which isn't too bad in trips inside the red zone.
Yeah.
Which I didn't actually think they were that high. So they were down there enough. It was just, you take the Indiana game. I know it's one people want to forget, but Indiana was 7 for 7 on touchdowns in the red zone that day. Nebraska had 3 trips where they didn't get anything inside the 20, including a fumble early on in the game. And I'm not saying Nebraska would have won that thing. I don't think they would have. But you talk about the anatomy of a blowout and how that sort of thing develops. It comes down to this topic we're talking about. If you execute down there a little bit better, that's a game you're at least hanging around in the third quarter and not getting embarrassed by the score. So, the USC game, I feel like Nebraska wins if it executes better in the red zone in the third quarter on offense. And there's a play that always comes to my head about Hartzog, where I thought he would have had an interception, ends up being a USC touchdown.
Yep.
Those are the 1 or 2 plays that are going to decide, is this like a 9 or 10 win team, or is it kind of that 7-win, 6-7 win team?
I'm looking back at my drive chart from last year. So I must have got lazy and didn't finish this, but I did not include, this is not including the Iowa and the Boston College game. But I had leading into that. So the first 11 games last year, they had over 61% of their drives period offensively reached the opposing 40-yard line. And only just under 38% of those drives, they did not score on them. So what, over 63% they didn't score. I mean, that's kind of crazy to think about. I'm sorry, 37.5% they reached the 40 and did not score. So they only scored on 62-ish% of those drives that reached the 40-yard line. You're in the go zone there. You need to get points, when you get across the 40, and that just felt like a consistent thing for them a year ago.
No, that's a good number to track too, because I mean, we get stuck down in the red zone talk, and it's like what happened inside the 20. But you're right. Like once you cross midfield, that's got to be where you're that efficient team that knows how to finish people off. And on the other side of the ball, the encouraging thing is, John Butler's only had one game as DC, and Boston College maybe was down a guy or two, but Nebraska did perform well in that game. In the red zone, they had that stop inside the 2-yard line in the second half, and they had another one near the end of the first half. So they kind of bent but didn't break in that game. So we'll see if that's a sign of what's to come from that unit. Obviously, when you're talking about the defense, like Van Poppel's a guy who hasn't played a ton of snaps, but he was kind of involved in the games he's played in the tight phone booth type plays around the 2 or 3 yard line. Elijah Judy, I think, is going to be important. And then you've got to have DBs who, like, I mentioned Hartzog. If he's the nickel, like he's got to be dynamic down there. And Sierra Wright, you hope, is like one of those guys who just sort of shuts off like those fade patterns and is your CB1, and then you find someone else on the other side. So they've got a lot of potential on that side of the ball, and they weren't bad by any means. In fact, they won Nebraska a couple of games, like the Rutgers game. The red zone, the goal line stand is what won that game.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give them some credit too. But I know that that's one of the things they know they can knock up a few percentage points, and that's the type of thing that could make you elite if you're that type of defense.
I always think offensively about, I think you're right. Nebraska's going to have, a couple more playmakers at their fingertips and some guys who have been around and have done it. But, I probably would have said close to the same thing last year with the receivers that they went out and went and got. But when I think about when it stalled out on them or why they weren't able to convert these things into points, I kind of just think about the operation, and it's pretty general. But like I think back to the overtime in the Illinois game, or not getting points on that last drive of regulation or taking sacks or whatever it might be. Just felt like things kind of broke down in when they really didn't need to break down from an everybody standpoint, not just wide receivers, but quarterbacks and offensive linemen and play calling and all that stuff. I think that I felt like, just anecdotally, BC, that got better once Holgorsen took over last year. And so that's kind of what I'm going off of for my confidence level going into this season in that category.
I feel like there are a few examples where you saw there were some more layups within the play that Raiola could complete. Like, think about the Pinstripe Bowl, the last touchdown to Emmett Johnson. That was like a 4th and 2. And they got the defense's eyes and thoughts going to one spot, and Emmett Johnson's just out there, and basically that's a simple pitch and catch you're going to make every time, and he walks into the end zone. And it wasn't quite the red zone, but they had a similar play against USC where they found Emmett out of the backfield, and he had pretty easy time getting to the paint. So I do think there was some stuff they had that made it easier for Dylan to, like, maybe even if the first read isn't there's a secondary read that's a pretty simple play that can get you what you need to at least continue the drive. And so, you hope that continues. And I do know that they've spent a lot of time on it. When you hear them talk about like situational football, sometimes we always think, they're talking about like the final 2 minutes and how you handle timeouts and stuff like that. A big part of that too is like third downs and red zone and all this stuff. And so you're coming up with things where your quarterback and OC are getting hopefully on the same page. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. This didn't work last year. Throw that in the trash. And so we'll see what their creative process brings. But there are a lot of guys on that side of the ball who you would hope can get stuff done when you're down, in the red zone. And the biggest one of all, of course, is Dylan. Dylan's got to just make a few more plays that he didn't make too. That throw against Illinois. Say what you will about Satterfield, that play was there. It was there for a touchdown to Lindenmeyer, and that's the game. And so those are the ones you got to have.
BC, as always, appreciate the time and insight. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Brian Christopherson, Husker 247. BC talked with, who wrote this week? Brad Crawford of CBS Sports, and he had a stat in here that sort of blew me away. He said Nebraska had 10 pass plays of 30-plus yards all last season, which ranked 124th in the country. I guess I figured, now a lot of that, Nebraska, remember, they probably could have had a lot of completions downfield, but they got pass interfered a lot. So they ended up getting first downs out of that anyway. Yeah. But it's kind of staggering. 10 pass plays of over 30 yards.
Got to have more.
Yeah, you're going to want things to pop a little bit in the passing game. And that all gets, that all feels a little bit better when the operation is cleaner, and hopefully that's the thought for them.
And that goes in turn with what, was it what Gary said earlier this week? They were 6-1 last year when Dylan's yards per attempt was over 6.
Wow, I didn't hear that one.
I hope I didn't make that up.
I didn't hear it. That makes some sense.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like the more that they were taking those shots, the more they wanted to open up a little bit. All right, quick timeout. We'll come back. Josh has the odd news when we return on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
If you've got heart, come on out to Werner Park. We're gonna make some memories with the Chasers family.
Make sure you're first in line on Saturday, July 12th, when the Omaha Storm Chasers give away a Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead at Werner Park. Celebrate Junior's Gold Glove and Silver Slugger awards with a one-of-a-kind bobblehead presented by Fairfield Inn and Suites of Papillion. Get your tickets now at OmahaStormChasers.com.
Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm, we're family.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Interesting question from John on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John.
If Nebraska happens to win a game this fall under rule, will Josh consider putting that in the odd news?
No.
Hopefully it's not that odd.
It's happened many times. Happened last time they hit the football field. I don't know if you remember.
Last year, it happened more times than it didn't.
Yeah.
You believe that?
I can, actually.
That was kind of surprising. But they found a way to do it. So it wasn't that odd after all. What do we got today, Josh?
Well, a couple weeks ago, we told you about the Jeff Bezos wedding where Tom Brady seemingly followed Sydney Sweeney around like a lost little puppy.
Yeah.
It appears as though that might be his move.
Follows people around?
Yeah. Because,
whoa.
According to page 6, are you familiar with page 6?
Yep.
In the New York Post?
Yeah. Yep.
It reports that Tom Brady has been following around Sofia Vergara.
What's up with all this Sofia Vergara stuff this week?
She's very hot, and I mean not physically. Like, she's an it girl right now again.
What? I never clicked on the story about her and the Fox broadcaster.
Well, Tom Brady is a Fox broadcaster.
It was Tom Brady. Got it. So this is that story.
The outlet.
I had some people making jokes that it was Terry Bradshaw, and I kind of believed it.
Or how could you, Kevin Kugler?
Yeah, that's a funny one.
It is. The 7-time Super Bowl champion purportedly asked to switch seats in a restaurant in Spain so he could sit next to Sofia aboard a star-studded Ritz-Carlton super yacht.
Sure.
Which sounds like...
Not a restaurant.
Right, not a restaurant. Brady and Vergara, however, were apparently googly-eyed over each other at one of the gala dinners aboard the yacht. The two were photographed sitting next to each other. He asked to switch seats to sit next to her at dinner, source told page 6.
So by next to each other, you mean they were already at the same table?
They're at the same table. Tom Brady's like, hey, can you switch me seats so I can sit next to
That's okay.
Ms. Vergara?
That's not that bad. Like, okay, I'll give him a +1 for that.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like I need my table to be close to her table, that's a little
like at the Dark Knight where he's like, I don't know if they let you push tables together here. Just go, no, they do. I own the restaurant.
They already have. If they're sitting at the same table, there's some familiarity there. I have no problem with that. Tom Brady, you're off the hook.
Now, Brady, 47 years young, and Vergara, who turns 53 on Thursday, continued hanging out in Ibiza after the yacht trip. You can take pills there.
That's what that one guy said.
TMZ confirming that they are not dating. This is not a romance. They've classified it as a summer fling.
Oh, wait, they've classified it as a summer fling?
Yeah.
So they're hanging out?
They're apparently
cool.
Doing whatever it is 47-year-olds and 53-year-olds do together.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think pretty highly of yourself to go after Sofia Vergara. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, you got to compose yourself before you shoot that shot, right?
So, hey, whatever, Tom. You go for it, I guess. And so congratulations to Sophia.
Yeah, she's a winner in all this too, right? A 3-part series is coming to your televisions in a couple of weeks. I want you to be aware of.
It's always a 3-part series.
It is, and it premieres after some of the shows on Shark Week on Discovery Channel. A new trailer has been released for the series Animals on Drugs.
Sure.
It follows Forrest Gallant, I believe is how you would pronounce that name. And all of that sounds fake. The first name, the last name, it's all fake. And his team, as they look into a few animals that have become addicted to destructive substances. For example, his team gets up close and personal with gators high on meth, hard drinking bears, and cocaine hippos.
So, do they drug the animals?
I believe they are a team that works with animals that are addicted to things. Now, I don't know how
do they get their meth?
Yeah, that's the one I'm wondering about. The cocaine hippos are Pablo Escobar, famous drug dealers, hippos. So yeah, there was cocaine all over the place. The bears, yeah, sure, they find some booze in the woods. Totally get that, right? How do the gators keep getting the meth?
Like, do they keep them stocked?
I don't know. It looks like the doc team is helping spun out animals while trying to figure out ways to help them recover from their addictions.
Okay, that sounds sad.
It does.
Like, this doesn't sound like, oh my God, an elephant is on a croc is on drugs. It's on meth. He's going to do crazy stuff.
Cocaine Bear was fun.
Yeah, like because it was
Frivolous.
eating people
Yeah.
like relentlessly.
Yeah.
In this case, it sounds more of a rehab, like animal rehab.
Animal rehab, yeah.
I don't, this does not sound like fun.
Maybe it's fun for a little bit before the guys get in there and
Oh,
do
you
their
get the
thing. Yeah.
here's what they used to look like.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Odd.
Here's cell phone video of the meth gators before we got there.
A good odd news story, Josh.
Finally, a West Virginia couple. They were seen naked and engaging in activities.
Yeah.
In a stolen RV when a cop pulled the moving vehicle over after spotting the driver being straddled by a female passenger. This is again while the vehicle is moving.
Okay.
During the traffic stop last Wednesday in Bluefield, which is an Appalachian mountain city, a patrolman approached the RV and found Shannon Bryant sitting behind the wheel. One of the officers noted that a passerby yelled out to the police officers, "Hey, they switched seats before you got there."
Wow, narc.
Yeah. You a knock? The officer inquired about their actions while the vehicle was in motion, to which Ms. Bryant candidly responded, "We were bleeping."
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Bryant, who appeared to be highly intoxicated, according to law enforcement officials, and the man were ordered out of the RV after being read their rights. McDonald, the man, reportedly admitted that he and the woman were naked and attempting to engage in activities while driving.
Yeah.
And yes, switched seats once the squad car showed up. Connor, this is going to shock you, but there was drug paraphernalia in the car. A white powdery substance, painkillers, and a glass pipe.
Sure. The Holy Trinity.
Mm-hmm. Yep. West Virginia, you got to watch out.
Not while driving.
But if the RV's a rocking, you don't come a knocking.
So, these people obviously have no shame. We already knew that. I mean, but the RV driving down the road, I mean, you're not going to not get caught.
Yeah.
People will say, I mean, it's a very big windshield.
It's quite an eyesore.
It's way up there, like they're gonna catch you. I've never seen an RV with tinted windows. They're gonna see you.
Yeah, they're gonna catch you.
I don't think they cared, from what it seems like from this specific case. Alex Lincoln, though, writes in.
Hi, Alex.
What the heck? I thought this was America. This is America.
Oh, this is America.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the odd news. Noon hour coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
I think every time we've done a radio show this week, Josh, the Yannick Sinner has been tennising.
He's been tennising a lot this week.
The grass has gotten worn.
Yeah, it looks like crap.
Yeah, it looks, it doesn't look very comfortable anymore.
No.
Because we are in the semifinals?
That's right, Connor.
Nice. I heard the update. Don't worry. Yannick Sinner is beating Novak Djokovic, much to
Sinner.
Josh Odson's pleasure. And
I do like watching that guy lose.
We'll get another Yannick Sinner versus Mr. Alcaraz.
That's right, Connor.
In the final, which will be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be 5 hours long.
It'll be Sunday.
Which will be Sunday. Maybe it'll be 5 hours long on Sunday.
It could be.
Who knows? Royals fans, you have yourself another All-Star. Carlos Estevez is joining the American League squad, which I believe brings our total of people who were named All-Stars and then alternates for the All-Star game, therefore get to represent the American League or National League to the All-Star game at about, 142 players, something like that?
You really have to suck at baseball to not be named an All-Star.
You got to do. That's why I find all the conversations really funny about the All-Star snubs.
Snub!
People do that all the time. Like,
because people will click it.
Will they?
For cliques.
I don't think they should.
We love being outraged.
But what I'm saying is, Josh, I don't think they should click it, because if you're an All-Star snub on the day that they decide All-Stars, I get news for you. You're getting in.
You're going to go.
You're going.
If you want to play, they'll let you play.
You're going to the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. If you were a finalist or you felt like you had a good enough season to be at the All-Star game and you got left out on the initial vote, don't worry, your time is coming. And so Carlos Estevez will replace Jacob deGrom on the All-Star roster. Now, I don't think deGrom's hurt. He must just be starting this weekend, so he doesn't want to pitch on Tuesday.
Sure.
At the
that makes sense.
At the All-Star game, but 25 saves, tied for first in the American League at a 2.03 ERA. He's been a good pickup.
He's pitching tomorrow
for the Royals this year, who play the Mets this weekend. That's a big rivalry, Josh. Those two teams don't like each other.
Oh, is that a fact?
Huge rivalry. You want to hear about another rivalry?
Okay.
Let me introduce you to Colorado and Nebraska.
I'm familiar.
Have you heard about this? It's another offseason. It's another summer on this show where we're talking about Colorado, but not because they have an upcoming game this fall. No, but maybe someone would like to change that. Appearing at Big 12 Media Days on the Denver Sports Podcast this week.
You said it weird. Why'd you say it weird?
Well, that's how it's spelled. Denver.
Denver?
Yeah.
They took out both of the E's?
Correct.
That's dumb.
DNVR.
Dumb spelled DMB.
Well, that's like, what's the DAZN? DAZN, yeah. Like, same thing. Denver. The Denver Podcast this week. Colorado Athletic Director Rick George, who I love Rick George to life. Spending that money.
Sorry, I got to write that down that I need to do that.
He said his preference would be to add Nebraska to Colorado's future schedule. Quote,
I bet that would be his preference.
We would love to play them. We'd love to play them every year because I think it's good for the game. I think it's good for the rivalry that Coach McCartney and Tom Osborne started years ago. Good for the game. Colorado, Nebraska, good for the game.
Good for ticket revenue. Hey, the only time people come to this is when Nebraska plays.
We sort of kind of asked this question the other day.
We did.
Or maybe Brunt's asked it of us because he was bouncing it around on his message board.
I think, yeah.
What do we think about this? Do you feel any burning desire to play Colorado? I really don't.
Every so often, let's do it. Let's do a home and home.
Now, if you would have asked me in like 2016, remember Nebraska hadn't played Colorado since 2010 at that point. They moved conferences. They're in different worlds. Colorado was good. Colorado made the Pac-12 championship game that year.
People forget.
And I think that was 16. Maybe that was 17. And then they weren't on the schedule until 18 again. I would have said, yeah, I guess so. But I still don't know if I would agree to an every year thing. It's just hard for me to, in my brain, dedicate one entire non-conference game with the minimal space you have to do so to one team every time. But don't get me wrong, like I feel like I'm going back and forth on my like principles here. I love rivalries, and I love when the fan base gets all fired up because they see the school across from them and they feel something toward them. I love emotion. I think that's really good. Every year, do I need it? I just don't think I do.
It was a lot.
I just don't think I do.
I can't get that ramped up every year for a non-con game.
But maybe you wouldn't. Maybe you wouldn't.
I don't think I would.
If you played them every year, you wouldn't really have to do that. They would just be there and taking up space on your schedule. Now, like I said, at the same time, Nebraska's future non-conference scheduling preferences are to play a half-eaten donut from the trash can. That
was specific.
That was the jelly. That was the jelly-filled part. Why do they want to play that? I don't know, but that's their preference.
They want to play a team of jelly rolls.
They want to play a team of jelly rolls for some reason. I don't want that. I want Nebraska to do it like they've always done it, which is in their non-conference games. There's sort of a rhythm to it. There's a cadence to it, but come up with one Power 5 team a year that you play and the fan base gets up for, and it's a challenging game for your team. And then you go into conference season. They're clearly not going to be doing that going forward because they really like the half-eaten jelly donuts from the trash can. So would I prefer playing Colorado every year to the half-eaten jelly donut from the trash can 3 times?
Sure.
Yes. Yes, I would. So I'm a bit conflicted on this issue. But do I feel this burning desire to need to play Colorado every year? Not really. Not really. And I'm not sure why they want to do it either.
Well, you'll do a home and home, and one of those years they'll get a huge boost in ticket revenue.
But did you hear Coach Prime? They're sold out. Now they can make some more money. Yes,
I've seen their games on TV.
Often Nebraska fans.
The stadium ain't full.
Coach Prime said they're sold out. 3rd straight year.
Can't argue with that. Now, when
you can, he could say stuff, and you can argue with it.
Okay.
But maybe he's right.
Now, in like 18 months, when Coach Prime isn't there anymore,
interesting.
Are we still going to even want to play them?
It would lose a little bit of luster, I think, from that as well.
Would think so.
Yep. Well, maybe they would qualify as half-eaten jelly donut at that point.
Probably.
In that case, do you want them on the schedule because it's something? It's at least a half-eaten jelly donut that you feel something toward.
Not really.
But if we're following along with what you guys all told me about non-conference scheduling, this is a half-eaten jelly donut that you are afraid of because we don't want to play good teams anymore. Remember? Oh, I completely support Nebraska and not playing anybody in non-conference play because I want to make the college football playoff.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, don't you want to not play Colorado every year in case you stub your toe against them?
It would be very embarrassing.
You could play much easier jelly donuts.
Imagine losing to, I don't know who would replace him, Eric Bieniemy.
Oh, who would replace him?
I mean, that's the first call they make, right?
I don't know who they. Yeah, would it be? Wait, would it be Dion handing over the reins to somebody, or would it be just a new thing entirely?
I imagine it would be a new thing entirely.
You don't think this ends well for Prime?
I think he will cite health reasons, and you know what?
Okay, but if that's the case, then he might choose to. He might be able to. He might
be allowed to. Yes.
Yeah. But what if it goes down in a ball of flames, and then they just have to completely change directions?
Boy,
entirely?
I really think we would have gotten there already, right?
Maybe. That's possible. All right. So do you want to play Colorado every year? I have heard very different. We seem to be split on this issue.
Ooh.
Here's Venmo Chris.
Hi, Venmo Chris.
I'd love to play Colorado every year. Our sworn enemies would always be the black and gold /yellow. I just hate them. Senator John Thune.
Who does
nuts.
things.
Yes, that's what this Twitter name is.
That's his name.
Yes, let's play Colorado because they are the only rival who actually wants to play and keep the rivalry alive. Sure, let's kick their ass every year. No problem. Okay, I like the way you put it there. I like the way you put it there. They actually want to play us. They feel some sort of emotion toward Nebraska. So, sure. Let's do it. I still don't want to play them every year, though.
It would lose a lot of luster really quick.
Colorado, there's talk going forward about what they're having the same conversations as everybody else is about what they're going to do going forward with their non-conference schedule, and that's where this came up. But if that Colorado State game on their schedule goes away, if I'm a Colorado fan, I'd feel more bummed about that than losing the Nebraska game, which they're already going to lose the Nebraska game, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Dwayne the Rock Hudson.
Dwayne the Rock Hudson.
I want to play CU every year because I hate them more than I hate getting a paper cut, and I just don't hate anyone in the Big Ten like that, even Iowa.
Okay. All right, you guys are, interesting. We've heard a couple different things here, and they're all like, yeah, let's do it. Let's play them every year. Until we get here. Here's John.
Hi, John.
A home and home every 6 to 8 years with Colorado would be great. Not every year.
Yeah.
But keep those mouth-breathing, sister-marrying, toothless tigers of Missouri out of my stadium. You do not want to play Missouri. Is this what I am to understand? Even though it seems that John hates Missouri the most, he'd like to not play Missouri because they do not meet the qualifications to enter Memorial Stadium. Fascinating.
Kind of weird what we're doing.
Fascinating.
Seems like we're afraid of the SEC teams and not the other conferences.
Is Missouri really in the SEC?
Technically.
Here's Chris.
Hi, Chris.
On Twitter. Fans of my age and older, 35, will probably say yes to Colorado every year because it would feel like the old days of college football still. Not necessarily the NU glory days, but the days of CFB in general with regionality. But, I would agree with that premise. I love the idea of the old days of college football with regionality. I love the idea of rivalry games. It's just I have a really hard time knowing what we know about what they're going to do with non-conference schedules going forward. I just have a really hard time, saddling myself up with one team every year.
Yeah.
Would it get old? Probably not. That it probably makes it more fun if you do it year after year after year after year. But if you're asking me today, which you are, I say, not every year.
We got to find some new talking points if we're going to play Colorado every year. Hey, you remember when they stared down the Buffalo? Hey, you remember when Colorado poured it on Nebraska?
There would be more if you kept playing them.
I guess, yeah.
Remember when they twisted Adrian Martinez's leg?
I do.
Remember when Coach Prime and Matt Rule were kind of mad at each other, but indirectly? I remember, Josh. Nope, I'm okay.
Not a need.
Not for me, anyway. Not for me. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let's get to this before we get to Sipple. This will be a decent lead-in for Sip. Should he answer the phone? Should he answer the challenge today? Ian Rappaport, Rap Sheet.
Oh, hi, Ian.
NFL Network tweeted this out last night. A statement from Doug Hendrickson. Doug Hendrickson is an agent. Najee Harris was present at a 4th of July event where a fireworks mishap resulted in injuries to several attendees. Najee sustained a superficial eye injury during the incident, but is fully expected to be ready for the upcoming NFL season. So we're talking about multiple people getting injuries at a fireworks, at a fireworks lighting situation on the 4th of July, and Najee Harris happened to catch a stray in this situation. Every year, we run into one or two of these. Every year, we run into one or two famous athletes being injured in a fireworks situation. How soon do we put it in a contract where it's like, you guys cannot be outside on the 4th of July?
Oh, that's an interesting contract wrinkle. I like it.
Please stay inside. Please stay inside. Najee Harris, a member of the Los Angeles Chargers now.
People forget.
Did you know that? Now, I wonder, I haven't seen any pictures. I wonder what the superficial eye injury looks like.
Yeah.
I guess that's my question. Is it better than it seems? Is it worse than it seems? Until I see pictures, I am only left with my imagination.
And what's that giving us?
Well, I don't know. When you think superficial eye injury, what do you think?
A scratch.
But on the eye?
Yeah.
Not on the actual eyeball, right? Like on the you're talking about like a shiner kind of below the eye? That type of deal? Or are you thinking like eyelid?
You can scratch like your cornea. And
You can, but that wouldn't be superficial. That'd be more
okay.
That would be more functionally,
Uh-huh.
Detrimental than superficial, wouldn't it?
This conversation is pure hell for me right now. But
why?
Oh, I don't like eye stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember when Robbie
I'm powering through for
had
you.
his eye, he had to get an eye shot?
Ah!
That was a real scream from Josh, by the way.
No.
Yeah, okay. All right, we don't have to talk about that. That is not superficial.
That is not.
That is
yeah,
not
so
superficial.
okay, maybe but it's a fireworks injury, so it's not like he's got a cool scar on his eye like Scar from the Lion King now.
Right, you get made fun of.
Yeah. Like it's
Hopefully it's not to the point where there is a scar and then people don't have to constantly be reminded of the fact that he got smoked by a firework in the face during the summer, because that's all we would talk about. Jason Pierre-Paul, I'm sorry. Like I'm sure it's not fun for you to have like half fingers, but
you have to tell that story every year.
It's more uncomfortable for us to look at you not have those fingers.
Careful.
What?
I don't know if that's
because then we have to think about it all the time. His fingers. Disgusting.
In that particular incident. Yes.
Can you believe that? He blew off his own fingers?
He is a famous enough player that we are going to
we would not talk about Jason Pierre-Paul as much if he didn't blow his fingers off.
Oh, no, I'm saying Najee Harris is a famous enough player where he's going to have to say something about what happened.
Well,
his version of events will come out.
He's going to get asked, right?
Yeah.
Per the Mercury News, the incident occurred at 12:20 a.m. on July 5th in Harris's hometown of Antioch, California. July 5th. But this is the late night on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
12:20 a.m. What's
Gotta think
going
of your
on
neighbors,
here?
man. Come on.
With a firework explosion injuring multiple people, Harris was reportedly hospitalized, going first to John Muir Hospital in Concord, then to Stanford Hospital for treatment. The Antioch police told the Mercury News on Thursday they were still investigating the incident and had no other comment. Rumors of a serious eye injury have been previously circulating online, with the statement from Harris's agent apparently aiming to tamp down concern.
Do you know what it sounds like?
What does it sound like?
Kind of sounds
Jason
like
Pierre-Paul.
One of your favorite things in the world happened where, oops, our pile of fireworks went off.
Ha! That would be awesome. I do love that. I still think they should try to do that. Blast off all the fireworks at the same time. Such a good idea.
and then he's kind of
12:20
it's
in
going
the
off.
12:20 in the morning? Fireworks?
Antioch, California firework laws.
Oh yeah, is he? There is an investigation, I guess, pending here. Is he in danger of being in any sort of trouble?
In Antioch, California, all fireworks are illegal.
That makes sense. It's California,
Yeah.
after all.
Can't do anything.
Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
What the heck is a superficial eye injury?
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to figure out. We're just trying to get to the bottom of this thing. Alex and Lincoln has an idea of what they might say when, what he might say when he's asked about it. He says they'll ask. He will say, I don't want to talk about it, and then speak on it for the next 30 minutes.
Superficial eye injury involves damage to the outermost layers of the eye, particularly the cornea, without penetrating deeper structures. That's gross. You can't have that on the internet.
Josh, I applaud your bravery in this subject.
I'm doing it for the show, the audience. The cliques. These injuries are common. I don't think that's true.
Really?
And often
you scratching your cornea?
In corneal abrasions, which are scratches or scrapes on the cornea. Well, typically,
like,
not
am I walking around right now with a scratched cornea?
I don't know.
What, is my cornea currently scratched? Like when I rub my eyes, do I scratch my cornea?
I hope not.
I hope not either. That sounds bad.
Yeah.
Because
Don't do that.
scratched cornea sounds really bad.
It does.
The next step after that, I don't know if this is true or not, but the next step after that of an injury that I've heard is detached retina. That sounds bad. Detached? Give me a break.
They seem to be able to reattach those pretty regularly, though.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
Ed writes in on Twitter.
Hi, Ed.
Put it in reverse, Najee. That video will never get old.
No.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Did you see once again they trotted him out at his local town 4th of July parade this year? They put him on a float.
Oh, did they?
Uncle Terry, they put him on a float in his wheelchair and it just said, put it in reverse. Back up, Terry.
Sure.
Yeah, they've been doing it for like the last 5 years.
Big star in that town, wherever that town
I would
is.
imagine he is the biggest star in the town.
Especially on that one day.
Yeah. He is Mr. 4th of July in whatever town that is. All right. So we'll keep an eye on this. Thank you, Josh. Steve Sipple coming up next on 1620 The Zone. It's amazing how radio works sometimes.
Go on.
Sometimes you just talk about sandwiches for a little bit, and then a sandwich appears.
It's incredible the technology they got nowadays.
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Theo said A+ break content. Did they see us?
I think he might be talking about this slide that I have, which is a quote from Scott Frost.
That is a great. So keep that up.
Yeah.
But thank you to your wife.
My
for
wife.
this. So Josh like covertly asked me. I just don't think about these things enough. People ask me questions, and I think they have no ulterior motives in asking me these. I'm just a very surface level guy. Okay. So Josh he was like, "What do you get usually at Jimmy John's?" And I said, I usually like, the country club or the Italian nightclub. And then he was like, "Oh, cool." And then the conversation was over.
Yeah, that was the end of it.
I just thought he was genuinely curious about what I get at Jimmy John's. He's like, "Yeah, those sound good." And and I didn't think anything of it. And then Josh's wife came in and brought Josh what I thought was bringing Josh a sandwich because he was talking about sandwiches because she's really nice. And little did I know that there was a sandwich in the bag for me. And I go, "Oh, that's why you asked that question. I am an idiot."
Why the Inquisition?
God. You could really get a lot by me. You really could. What kind of sandwich did you get, Josh?
We're happy to provide. I got the.
What's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Never remember the name. The Beach Club.
Beach Club. Avocado?
Yeah. Little turkey and avocado.
All right. So there's that quote. This is, I don't know where Amy found this.
Yeah, this is from Amy Just. Thank you for sending this out. I straight took it and used it as a slide for our commercial breaks.
Don't worry. We do that all the time.
Yeah.
But shout out to Amy Just. I don't know where I assume this is from some sort of Stanford yearbook.
Yeah, maybe their school paper.
Another Scott Frost quote has hit 1620 The Zone. I'll read it to you if you can't see it and you're not watching along with us on YouTube. Scott Frost said at some point in the mid to late 90s, "It was fun at times to have everybody in the state of Nebraska watching me. It got old too. But I'm finding out pretty quickly that once you've had that attention, you want to get it back." Now that, considering everything that's happened, including both immediately after that and a long time after that, is about as rich as it gets.
So,
thank you, Amy Just, for tweeting this out last night, just with no context whatsoever.
There's a photo of Scott Frost. It says Scott Frost, Stanford freshman quarterback.
Yep. So this quote,
a very specific time in Scott Frost's life.
This sentence was spoken by Scott Frost after he had left Nebraska, talking about how he really likes attention and wants it back. That's weird, because that's not what I heard yesterday.
People change. People change, Connor.
Oh, boy. Is this turning into one of those like Trump things? Like there's always a Trump tweet?
Oh.
There's always a Frost quote. Okay, hang on.
A little bit.
Yeah. There's always a Frost quote. You know what they say? There's always a Frost quote. All right, I haven't heard from Sipple yet, although I expect to get a text in the next couple minutes. Shout out to Nebraska alum Brice Matthews. Excuse me. Brice Matthews. This was made official just a moment or two ago. Brice Matthews, one of the top prospects on the Houston Astros, in the Houston Astros organization, a Houston native, gets the call to the big leagues. Congratulations to Brice Matthews, who's been killing it for in the minor leagues over the last couple of years, including most recently for the Sugarland Skeeters.
Great name.
I believe that was the team that the Storm Chasers played in the AAA National Championship game last year.
Yeah, I think it was.
So excellent. excellent job by him. Then it got me thinking a little bit. I mean, first of all, awesome for him. Quick rise through the minor leagues. I mean, if you think to Brice Williams, when he got here to Nebraska in 21, he was on that 21 team that went to the regional final for the Huskers. But he was playing a little second base. He was playing most of second base that year. Obviously, ended up playing shortstop in 2022, and that's when it all came together for him. He was not I mean, you could see that there was talent there, and you could see that there was, something more, and the ceiling was pretty high for Brice Matthews. I have to be careful to not say Brice Williams.
I've done it so many times this morning.
Brice Matthews. You could see that he had a lot of talent, but he just wasn't completely put together yet. He was a little bit smaller. He needed to put on some weight and round out, the baseball stuff a little bit as well. Had a great season in 2022, started really exploding at the end of 2021. I think I was looking at his Nebraska bio last night. He actually ended up being on the all-tournament team for that Fayetteville Regional in 21 because he had a good week there. Of course, Nebraska pushed Arkansas to Game 7 in that and ended up being a high draft pick in the 2023 draft. Oh boy, hold on. I'm going to make sure I get this right. In the 2023 draft, 28th overall. He was the number 1 prospect in the Houston Astros farm system. Also, good luck to all the local kids who may get drafted Sunday or Monday. It's interesting. We've had we had a really good run here recently of dudes locally, whether they be from Nebraska, Creighton, Omaha. Each of those schools have had like top 3 or so round picks in the last couple of years, or high school prospects. I was checking in on the Athletics. Keith Law wrote a prospect update. Well, this is probably a month or two ago, where Tyson Lewis, he said he was basically knocking on the door of being a top 100 prospect right now if they did a re-rank, and is going to be probably a top 50 prospect in baseball by the time the season starts next year. He's already in, I believe it's the Phillies minor league system at this point. So this year, a little bit lighter around here. There's, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe anybody out there, if you could think of somebody, could help me out on this. I don't think there are any really top 100, top 250 guys who have any local connections this time around, with the obvious exception of the guys who played in the College World Series, but that's not a connection. Sure. Really, outside of them playing a game or two here. So don't think there's going to be anybody drafted from the local ranks on Sunday, but once you get into, after the 5th round and beyond, starting Monday, you'll see a bunch of guys fly off the board. I think there'll be some juniors with some interesting decisions to make, potentially, and we'll see what kind of happens there. But and I ran into Nolan the other night. Shout out to Nolan Sailors, who is probably going to be the highest local guy off the board in this year's MLB draft. When you include the Nebraska guys, the Creighton guys, the Omaha guys, and then the prep people. So we'll see where he ends up going, but congratulations in advance to him. Obviously, coming off of an excellent career at Creighton over the last 4 years.
Let's go.
Roll Jays, go baseball, as they say, Josh.
Hearing it more and more.
Roll Jays, go baseball.
Oh, okay.
Mike says you just called him Brice Williams. Did I really?
Oh, I missed it.
Brice Matthews. I apologize. Mike also follows up, is Cam Kojal draft eligible? He is not. He's a sophomore at Arkansas, but I believe he was playing on the USA Collegiate summer team this year. If you guys follow along with college baseball, it's funny. College baseball season for most teams ends in May, some mid-May. And that's really when the season starts. That's when that's when the weather starts to heat up and stuff like that. Some teams are fortunate enough to go into mid to late June, but after that, there's still a whole summer ahead of you. So guys go off and they play on prospect teams, and the Cape Cod League gets full. We already talked about Freddie Prinze Jr. yesterday, so we don't have to shoot that bullet again. Northwoods League, stuff like that. I know, both of the local schools have some guys in the Cape this summer, which is awesome. But it's a cool thing to keep track of. But you kind of do have to go out of your way a little bit to do so. It's weird to think. This is where you get a little sideways on college baseball, because people say like, "Hey, we should change the season. We should move it back." And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm fine. The first month or so is a grind, and it's cold, and but it ends and it's hot, and like there's kind of a rhythm to it. But then when you start to think about it, and you think about how much competitive college baseball you're losing compared to the weather you have, that's when you can get a little bit freaked out. So you have to, in order to follow college baseball in these months, where one of the things that you want to do is follow baseball because it's the only thing going on right now, you have to follow individual players as they go on whatever summer league journeys that they're going on. Some don't. That's what makes it even more kind of fun as well. Some guys just decide, I'm going to stay home and work. I'm going to stay home and work this summer. I know there was a couple Creighton guys who were working on the grounds crew this summer and for the College World Series, and I was like, "What are you guys doing?" And they were like, "Nothing, just working
the docks,
doing my thing, Yeah. So it's a weird game when they all separate there for the summer.
I've looked at many a mock.
You have checked the baseball mock drafts?
Yes, almost all of them say, Connor, you're getting the top prep lefty, Cruz Schoolcraft.
Who's me? Who am I?
The Royals.
I'm getting Cruz Schoolcraft?
Yes. That's Cruz spelled Kruz, of course.
Are you getting Vahiva Aloy?
Yes, I saw one mock that had him going to the Braves.
That's an interesting college bat. I bet you like it probably when College World Series guys get drafted to your team just because, hey, that's a guy. That's a name.
I remember watching Dansby going, "Go boy, I hope he ends up in Atlanta."
It was just later.
Yeah. He got there.
Yeah, eventually.
It worked out.
Jed writes in.
Hi, Jed.
I think it'd really be interesting to have one of the local guys who have been drafted and still in the farm system. I assume Jed's saying like on the show, I'd love to hear a day in their life. Well, let's do it. I mean, we've done that before. Let's do it though.
Yeah.
Let's call somebody up. We know some people, Josh.
Call them up.
We know some baseball players. From the 402.
At 402.
How does it work in the MLB draft? If you get selected, can you come back to college? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can go back to, you could get drafted. You can get drafted 3 times technically and still go back to college after each one of those times. There's not many who choose to do that. But oftentimes you won't get if you get drafted as a high school kid, you won't get drafted as a freshman because you have likely signaled the fact that you are quote unquote unsignable. Like one of the biggest parts of the Major League Baseball draft, especially after, probably the first 4 or 5 rounds, is quote unquote signability.
Yeah.
So, a lot of these guys, especially after that part, you're not necessarily looking for a future star, although it's gotten a little bit more that way because it's only 20 rounds now. You're not looking for the next big star in your franchise or the next ace or the next, 20-year shortstop or anything like that. You're looking for guys to fill out your minor league teams.
Yeah.
And so if they feel like there's a guy who could, progress through the system, maybe they take a flyer on them having a bunch of upside or something like that. Or maybe they just say, hey, look, I think this guy's going to be a really good baseball player for 10 years, for as long as he wants to be a really good baseball player. Maybe he gets a crack at the major leagues. Maybe he has a cup of coffee. Maybe the situation's right for him. Maybe he ends up in a trade somewhere. But mostly, I think he's just going to be a professional baseball player for us for like 7 to 10 years. That's signability.
I imagine on MLB Network this week, they have done this segment. They will do it during the draft telecast as well. Well, what do you guys think a team should do? Best available or signability? And they'll debate that for 10 minutes while players are getting plucked. And
it's weird in the first round because there have only been a handful of times where teams have actually taken the guy in the first round and then that person went back to college. Like Mark Appel comes to mind. And, there's been a couple of crazy situations like that. There's usually like injuries involved in medical reports and stuff like that. And then leverage is important too. Once the Royals drafted Bubba Starling, he kind of lost all of his leverage because he was not going to not play for his hometown franchise and have a chance to do that one day. If it would have been any other team, maybe he could have said to that team, hey, look, I'm really cool with playing quarterback at Nebraska. Sounds like a sweet idea for me. And I don't have any connection to the Baltimore Orioles, or whatever it might have been at that point. So there's like 4,000 things that go into it. It's fascinating if you care about that sort of thing, which I weirdly do. From the 402.
Hi, 402.
These are great questions. If you get drafted but come back to college another year, does the pro team still have your rights unless they waive them, or are they taking a risk that you might not join? No, you get put back into the same pool as everybody else.
You are taking the risk as the pro team.
Yep.
When you call a player's name.
That's right. That's why teams go over slot value. Like you'll see, this is why it makes little to no sense to freak out at the side of an MLB, first round draft or something like that, because you get a selected money of draft pool that you can use. And sometimes teams will go over slot value. They have slot values attached to each of these guys or each of the spots in the first round. They'll go over slot value to make sure that player is enticed to sign the contract if their signability is low.
Weird.
It's hard to understand, Josh. It's hard to understand. All right. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Conversation gets even more uncomfortable, okay?
Omaha!
Steve Sipple on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Surprise! That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
It is Steve Sipple from HuskerOnline.com. Joins us now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Sipple, hello. How are you?
Good. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. You sound amazing.
So the listeners understand, I do a show right before this, and sometimes it goes a little longer. So I apologize. I never quite know when it's going to end.
That's okay. Do you want to just make your standing time 1 o'clock from now on? I mean, we could do that.
That'd be great.
Okay. We're handshaking this, right? Like, let's go verbal handshake. Steve Sipple's new time is 1 o'clock.
Yeah, we'll discuss terms later. But
Okay.
Yeah, that's perfect. 1 o'clock.
Happy birthday. I didn't get to see you in person for your birthday. It looked like a big party over there.
Well, it's not my birthday.
It was your birthday very recently.
It was. You made it sound as if it were today, though. Thank you. I should say. And yeah, I'll make sure that next year I'm out of town for my birthday.
You seem like a guy who really loves your birthday and celebrating yourself.
I don't know. I'll be out of town next year. But no, I appreciate all that well wishes and yours included. Thank you, Connor.
I was told because I got a bunch of people who don't listen to your show daily. Sorry, but every once in a while someone will message me, and I guess it's getting more than every once in a while now. But someone will mention me and they'll say, "Here's what Sipple did today," and it's very funny, and then I'll go listen to that. So I was told this week you discovered ChatGPT. Is this correct?
No, I didn't discover it. I was using it on the air, and I was sort of amazed by the level of detail it can go into on something as sort of obscure as Bishop's Buffet, which doesn't exist and hasn't existed in Lincoln since I think it was 1993 was its last year. But it could describe in great detail this very sort of high-end buffet that had table lamps and I don't know, everything about it was ChatGPT described it to a T. I was sort of amazed by that. No, I would use ChatGPT for various things in my life. And
really?
Very effective. Oh yeah. I mean, for instance, writing if I write a story, I'll run it through ChatGPT and say, please write a snappy Twitter intro for this.
Oh.
And it does it. It does it. It does it in seconds. It's remarkable.
Would we be able to? Is that most of the time that? So you have AI do your tweets for you?
You can have them. You can run a column through it, and you just simply type in. I don't know if you're making fun of me at this point.
Well, no, I'm genuinely asking. I want to know.
What I would do is just run my column through it. Well, first I write, would you please give me some snappy bullet points to preview this column for Twitter? And then you send, you copy and paste your column in, send it through, and they do it. You could use it to write a headline if you wanted to, or just summarize, like Sean Callahan very wisely. You could run the text of a 7-page contract through it and say, give me the highlights of this contract. What do I need to know about this contract? And it'll give you bullet points of the stuff you need to know so that you don't have to read through every page. It really does remarkable things.
Simple. Maybe I'm behind the times on this one because I have never functionally used AI for anything. I the only time I've ever used it is to mess around and hopefully create some sort of a weird picture or something like that. But that's it. I've never used it for anything that would help me at all.
It's not fail safe. I've typed in stuff like, give me the the most underrated Nebraska running backs, and you can't do stuff like that. It can handle a level of nuance that would probably shock you.
Did you ask it about any Scott Frost quotes this week?
No. But if you, for instance, your parents might remember Tony and Luigi's in Lincoln, which was a high-end Italian eatery. If you typed in like a question about Tony and Luigi's, which was a huge thing in Lincoln once upon a time, it can go in great detail about Tony and Luigi's. I didn't know like Bob Hope ate there and the Supremes, Lawrence Welk. This stuff's amazing. It must just be able to, in an incredibly small length of time, gather detail that would astound you.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm glad. Not that you've apparently not discovered this, but you find a way to make good
I've
use.
known about
Yeah,
it.
you make good use out of it on an everyday basis, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right. So, do you want to talk about Scott Frost, or do you want to, just pass?
I don't mind talking about Frost. He's an interesting character to me.
Why do you think he won't take any accountability for the things that went bad here?
That's not who he is. It's possible he takes accountability away from a microphone. My guess is, from what I've heard, he doesn't do a lot of that either. That he's not particularly accountable in a private setting. I don't understand. I can't pretend to understand what's in his mind. He's never failed at that level before. I wonder if he doesn't know, just can't process it. Maybe it's a maturity issue. Not all 50-year-olds are as mature as you'd expect. I certainly wasn't. And I think Frost, I don't know, maybe just kind of lacks a little maturity. I think maybe in time, he'll recognize that he needed to be more accountable to being 16-31 and really just leading. I don't mind saying it, and I said it, and I would say it to him if he was standing in this hallway with me. I'd say he just did a miserably bad job at Nebraska, and I just wish he'd sort of acknowledged that. He just didn't do a good job. He failed at his job. It's not the worst thing you could say about a human being.
So a lot of what the conversation that has come out of this week is, I feel like a lot of revisionist history on how people were thinking during the time in which Nebraska was courting him, and then when he initially got here. Like, if you could take yourself back to those moments, and I know you wrote today in your part in the Tunnel Talk, talking about how he was unsure kind of in the lead up to it. Did that feel like a red flag to you in the moment that his heart might not all the way be in it here?
It's hard to. Remember, my context is a little different than a lot of people's with Frost because I've known him for so long. I've known him pretty well for so long. So, and it wasn't like when Nebraska was going to open, when it was apparent in 2017, that's the first time I've ever talked to Frost about it. The possibility of someday taking the Nebraska job. It's been a conversation we've had before. I mean, multiple times. So I already knew he had reservations about it. I just would say, for the sake of yourself and your listeners, I can remember vividly on the months leading to him getting hired, the hanging up the phone at times with a source close to Frost or Frost himself, and thinking he's not going to take this job. I mean, this is going to get weird because he's not going to take it. There were times I thought that. So I hope people understand that's where I'm coming from. I never regarded it as a slam dunk at all until it happened, and I was like, okay, he's going to do it. But no, it was all he always. I hope people understand that part of what he says is very genuine. He wrestled hard with that whole thing. He was never ever going to be comfortable in the fishbowl. Just never. He's not that guy. it freaks him out. And I think a lot of his hesitancy was that. There's probably other stuff too.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering, Sipple. Like, it's interesting to me, and he touched on this in a quote that he gave to CBS Sports this week, something along the lines of what you just said. Like, you know, when you're in Orlando, people will kind of leave you alone, and you could live your life. And we've always knew. I mean, we knew for the first day, you know, before that, but especially his introduction press conference at Nebraska in December of 2017, he made it very clear that, you know, that was not going to be a conversation surrounding him. Like, what I don't get is how you kind of it felt like he let that part of it spoil all the rest, which is odd to me. Is there anything else to add to the context of why he had such reservations about the job and being the head coach here in the first place?
Oh yeah, I mean there was in a pure football sense, he liked that. I mean, I can remember one conversation in particular where he liked being close to all that skill position talent in Florida. I mean, it's a very basic conversation. It's not revealing anything even interesting, but that was important to him. I mean, the ability. He just said, you know, he said the standard kind of cliche line, "Sip, I can just roll out of bed and go find receivers here," you know. And that's true. He could. It's if people are unfamiliar with Florida, it's skill position heaven, you know, and he liked that. And his offense, that was good for his offense. And it will be good for his offense at UCF. But I don't think it was. I don't know that he let that, going back to the fishbowl thing, I don't think he let that cloud everything. And I think it's an oversimplification to suggest that was the only problem. And he didn't, I don't think he handled, there was a lot of issues, okay? There were, you know, just issues in the way he approached his job. I think the best way I can put it is Frost thought he could just outsmart everybody. And so I'm so much smarter than people that I don't have to be the grinder, you know, because I'm smarter. That's anybody that's close to Frost would, if they're listening, will nod their head and say, yeah, that's the way he thinks. That's the way he thinks. And he is, you know what? He's exceptional.
He's a smart guy. Yeah.
Yeah. He knows offense really well. Sometimes if you're just looking to boil the conversation down, sometimes I just think of guys like Frost as a guy who just went one step too far. He's an offensive coordinator, and that they don't always make great head coaches. In fact, I hate that. I hate that part of football where, oh yeah, he's a good coordinator, he'll make a good head coach. It's just not. It doesn't always work that way. Look at the guy at the Miami Dolphins right now. He's a master with the play sheet, but running an organization is a whole different story. Being the leader of an organization is a way different thing. So I think Frost, now, hopefully we'll see. Now, maybe he'll prove us wrong. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does at UCF. If he goes there and wins at a high level, then you think, okay, what's the deal here?
Yeah. Is something wrong with us? Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but there's such things as bad fits. And, you know, he wasn't a good fit here.
Yeah. Yep. Indeed. Sipple, thanks as always. We'll let you go. 1 o'clock next week. Mark it down.
Thanks for your patience. I always appreciate it.
Anytime. See ya.
Bye. See ya.
Steve Sipple, HuskerOnline.com. Uses Chat GPT on the reg. And those are good thoughts on Frost, by the way.
That was really good stuff.
And we did get a poll question out of him today. Do your parents remember Tony and Luigi's in Lincoln?
Everybody text your parents, call them.
My parents almost certainly do not, but they were not Lincoln people, really.
Right.
So maybe. All right, quick break. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Okay. So Sean Callahan mentioned this morning in the in the tunnel talk that we've talked about a couple times because we've had a couple members of the Husker Online crew on the show today. So once again, go read it. I think we've done enough to promote.
We've plugged it.
So I am going to pass along this one nugget here. Apparently there is some sort of Nebraska involved or related either TV show or movie. I believe a TV show is what we're looking at here. That centers around something regarding the University of Nebraska. They were apparently on campus at some point, getting some shots of Nebraska. And this series,
it's an HBO series,
will apparently star Steve Carell.
Wow.
A Steve Carell Nebraska related series. What do we think? Is it going to be funny? Maybe this will be better than The Office. What are you reading about this right now?
I am reading a tweet from one of the On3 guys.
One of the On3 guys.
Yes. Keith Niebuhr.
Keith Niebuhr. Keith Niebuhr.
I was not prepared for the first comment. The first reply. I cannot read it on the air.
Oh, I'm now seeing this tweet. Okay. People are not happy with Steve Carell because of his political affiliation.
Sure, that is the way I read it. Yes.
See, this is what happens when the On3 guy from Florida does a tweet about Nebraska, and that is,
lot of
the On3 is really big in the college in the college football space. What happens in the college football space, Josh? Which direction would you say that leans? Maybe a little off to the right, a bit. I'd say.
Sure.
I'd say. So, Steve Carell all of a sudden gets involved in a possibly college football related product, or at least a college related product, for a college in the Midwest. People are going to be like, "Oh, well, he's going to ruin it because he's a huge lib." Not a compound word, by the way.
Hadn't
just a lib.
Hadn't thought of that. As I'm watching a drive-by.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Steve Carell is a great actor. Actually, is Steve Carell a great actor? Can we evaluate this real quick?
Because I think he can play one or two things very well, and he, to his credit, he sticks to those one or two things.
Let me tell you this. I like Steve Carell.
Yes, I think a vast majority of us do. Not this one commenter, but
I enjoy. I don't know anything about him as a person, but he seems like a nice guy. Seems like a nice guy. Whenever I see him on the screen, that's comforting for me.
Yeah,
I like that, and he generally does a pretty good job. Is he a good or great actor? I don't know, but he is just one of those guys that has gone into stardom because he was a big star in a huge TV show that has got 1 billion plays on Netflix and now Peacock. The point was been made 4,000 different times that the generation underneath us, Josh, loves The Office more than we do.
That's right.
Because they watched it 7,000 times on Netflix before it went over to Peacock. So it's popular with many generations. Yours, mine, the children's.
This show created by Bill Lawrence, who created Ted Lasso. He created Scrubs, which is coming back again.
Okay, we got some funny. That's
Cougar Town.
The favorite show of what's his name on Community?
Abed,
yeah. All right.
So this isn't like some.
This might be good.
Yeah,
this
there's
might be
potential
good.
here.
Sam writes in.
Hi, Sam.
Don't forget about Brick Tamlin and also Steve Carell and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
That's right.
Once again, I don't know if he was like really acting, if he was really bringing the heat in those movies, but I did like Brick Tamlin as a character.
Yes.
Brick, where did Brick get a trident?
Steve crossed a certain age threshold, and he's like, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to play guys with salt and pepper hair, and they're going to be good, but, maybe not the best fathers in the world, but they will try the hardest.
He's had a couple of really great on-screen moments. Really great. The whole time of being Michael Scott was one thing. A lot of good stuff in there. But one of the most memorable ones that comes to mind, I don't know, when he screams, "No!
Kelly Clarkson.
No!" Okay, so there's that too. That's in 40-Year-Old Virgin when he's getting his chest waxed. And then being Brick Tamlin in Anchorman. That's what he's done.
That's what his whole life. You've summed up his whole.
And he was Gru in
right.
Despicable Me.
That's right.
I know about the Despicable Me.
Oscar-nominated actor.
Okay. So be on the lookout for that. Apparently there is a Nebraska is a character in an upcoming Steve Carell television show. Don't know how big of a factor it is, but at least part of the show, it seems, might be set at the University of Nebraska. No matter how much real footage they actually use of the University of Nebraska, they might just have some like in between scene aerial shots or like the picture that they always use for Seinfeld outside of the apartment.
Yeah.
They just put that, flash that up on the screen like they do in sitcoms sometimes.
Just really need everyone when this show,
What
when
would
this
it be,
episode premieres, like you got to give them a little grace. You can't be it's probably not even Lincoln. No, I'm telling you, it's not Lincoln.
It's definitely not going to be Lincoln. But when they put the one still shot there, what is it? Where do they put that camera to make it? Do they put it? What's in the shot? Is it the Student Union? Is it Love Library? Is it Memorial Stadium? Is it
I think it's
beautiful new business college?
I think it's probably your back is to Memorial Stadium. You're pointed at Morrill Hall, and that sort of.
Oh, in the horseshoe.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're basically standing over by the new business school, and then you're amongst the people who are tailgating or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Fascinating. What are you giggling at now, Josh?
I just think Sam's a very funny tweeter.
Sam has a lot of great tweets.
He sent us many.
He sent us many. I've read some.
I've read them all.
How about this one?
Some are about people I've met.
Here's what I would put. Sam says, the NRG Media Building. It's only 55 miles away.
A beautiful building.
That is true. You know how many times people ask me, so 1620 The Zone. Okay, I know 1620 The Zone. Where is that? And I say, well, it's amazing because it's like a very public, like it's right off of the biggest street in Omaha. And it's right in the middle of town. It's at 50th and Dodge. But you'd be surprised at when you drove by on Dodge Street. Like for years and years in my life, Josh, I drove by this building. And I barely knew that the building was even there. It's kind of back behind, like there's some trees, there's some cover. It's just sort of a nondescript type of building, And you just. But out front, if you go by Capitol Ave, you see the big NRG sign up front.
It's beautiful.
That's
picturesque.
That's where you put it.
Cinematic.
Now people just texting us Steve Carell roles,
which I enjoy.
And Utenskers. Now, once again, we have to be very careful when we talk about movies because of the whole big Philadelphia snafu of yesterday.
Yes, be careful. I don't think there's any pitfalls in
probably not
Steve Carell's career as large as Tom Hanks.
Probably not. Not quite as many landmines, but we'll be careful. Yes, that's right.
Just don't.
Bruce Almighty co-anchor, Evan. Oh gosh, what was his name?
Almighty.
Evan. No. What was his real last name?
Oh,
Evan Baxter. Evan Backstabber. I love Bruce Almighty.
Great movie. Underrated. We
Thank
don't talk
you,
about it
Josh. Thank you. Good take by you. Bruce Almighty kind of rules. You know?
Let me handle this one. Yes, we are aware he received an Oscar nomination for his work in the sports movie Foxcatcher.
Okay, so that's the one where he was.
That's the end of that sentence. Okay.
Oh, you don't want me to ask any follow-up questions?
He was in charge of some children and it did not go well.
That's okay. We could talk about it. It was a movie.
Well,
it was real.
Based on real events.
But yeah, I saw previews for that and I was like, ooh, I don't know. I don't want to see Steve Carell in this light.
It's like Robin Williams in 1 hour photo.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't sit right with me. He needs to do more stuff like he needs to be a sad 40, 50-year-old dude who just beats himself up all the time.
The beautiful, beautiful boy.
40-year-old virgin, or that one movie. I actually recently watched it.
Movie? That you watched?
With Gosling. Crazy Stupid Love.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was just basically triggered the entire movie because his wife was cheating on him with Kevin Bacon. Spoiler alert.
I mean,
is Kevin Bacon hot? I don't know.
Depends on what year you're asking me this question. Looks a little thin now.
Yeah. So somebody mentioned that one. And then Jeff is starting to get into the quote world now on the text line.
I'll allow it.
And my tiny little nipples went to France. That's an Evan Baxter line from Bruce Almighty. Don't watch Evan Almighty. It doesn't matter.
Great take. Again.
Good segment. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. Wow, this is another Kanye West.
There's
song.
a lot of Kanye in this folder, Connor. What are you trying to say?
He's got really good beats. That's all.
That's how he got his start.
Really, really good beats.
He was a beat maker.
And by the way, there is no Kanye like post 2019 on here. That's for sure.
That's right.
Post My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, nothing. So keep that in mind. Should we do Power as an intro just to trigger the Creighton fans?
For the joke, yeah, I think we should probably add it to the mix.
All right, so we were looking for some news this week on the expansion of the NCAA basketball tournament, something that many want and many are for and is a great idea.
Okay.
The committee wrapped up its meeting yesterday, but left the project of should we expand this tournament or not open-ended. Dan Gavitt of the Gavitt Games, the NCAA senior vice president of basketball, said in a statement yesterday following the meetings, quote, the still viable outcomes include the tournaments remaining at 68 teams or expanding the fields to 72 or 76 teams in advance of the 26 or 27 championships. So once again, it is possible that we have seen the last 68 team NCAA tournament, which is almost absurd to think about. Although, I mean, we're getting awfully close at this point to the season, but I don't know. I suppose you could, I mean, hell, you could play the entire season and then all of a sudden let 8 more teams in at the end. And I guess nobody would actually care that much, except for the fact that it's a stupid idea. So nothing official on and no recommendations were made, but this is in the conversation stage at this point. The idea of expanding the tournament picked up steam in the spring when President Charlie Baker of the NCAA said it could add value. Value is another word that people like to use for money, Josh. And that he'd like to see the issue resolved in the next few months. He said the NCAA has had good conversations with CBS and Warner Brothers, whose deal runs through 2032 at the cost of around $1 billion a year. Baker also mentioned increasingly difficult logistics involved with adding teams to what is now known as the First Four, a series of 4 games played on Tuesday and Wednesday of the first week to place 4 teams into the 64-team bracket. Wouldn't that be hilarious if for whatever stupid godforsaken reason the people in this room decided this is a good idea, and they could make money off of it, but then didn't think about the logistics and couldn't make it work from a logistics standpoint, and therefore it didn't get done after all? That would be just the chef's kiss result on all this stuff. Now, we probably won't hear it one way or the other, why it either does or doesn't happen. But I really hope it, first of all, I really hope it doesn't happen. But I really hope it doesn't happen because they just thought at the end of the day, it would be too hard to logistically make this work. You can logistically, are you kidding me? What's wrong with you guys? I know it's a logistical nightmare to get all these 68 teams to the right places and all that stuff, but there are a lot of hardworking people at every single site that take care of this in a seamless manner every single year. Every year.
We seem to get it done every single time.
You add 4 more games or 8 more teams, you're still going to be able to do it. Now, I'm not telling you that's a good reason to do it. Far be it from me to tell the NCAA, look, you could do this. Don't worry. You could do it. I believe in you. No, actually, I don't believe in you. Don't do it. But if push comes to shove and it's logistics being the last thing, I think they'd be okay. Personally. So, no further note on that one as of yet. And maybe the more we wait, the better off we are in that category. But we'll see. Okay. We saved this all the way to the end. This became like the Caitlin Clark thing of the week, Josh. Project Texas Tech. This has been the topic of college football over the last few days following Big 12 Media Days. Dan Wetzel wrote a column on ESPN this week, and the subject line is this: all of college football ought to cheer for Texas Tech.
Whoa.
The point he is basically making is that people should root for Texas Tech because they're not one of the big dogs and they have, now I think that lacks proper context in my opinion.
Or power school.
Yeah, but they haven't been involved in really any national championship pictures. I mean, they've been ranked as a top 5 team deep into the season a few times. Once notably in 8-7, Michael Crabtree. Remember that game? Graham Merrill?
Oh yeah.
Excellent game. Like I said, they've been nationally relevant, but they haven't really been on any doorsteps of a national championship or anything like that. So they're being painted in this ESPN column as an up and comer in that realm of college football. Wetzel writes, in the past, almost all the great ones, all the great young players, all went to the same teams. Well, now under the House settlement, schools can allocate up to $20.5 million to their athletes in any manner they see fit. Technically, they could give it all to one player. That is true. I'd like to see somebody do that.
Ooh.
That allows coaches to prioritize a specific recruit and outbid the competition. Money is rarely the only factor in recruiting, but it sure doesn't hurt. In the past, schools spent a passive dollar on things such as facilities, staff, and other bells and whistles. Now it's an active dollar directly into the pocket of the player. It makes a waterfall in the locker room or a Heisman Trophy display case matter less. It makes sense for an up-and-comer to try and make a splash. It's a chance for now, at least temporarily, for the have-nots to gain on the haves. So the idea that Texas Tech, you should be rooting for them, yes, because they are new on the block, but also they are a sort of disruptor in the game as well. I do not, personally, I'm not sure I see it this way. I mean, I'm interested in whether it's going to work.
Yes.
But I'm not rooting for it to work because it breaks up the norms of what we have in college football right now. Like, would it be cool to see Texas Tech in a national championship game or make a deep run in the college football playoff? Sure. But the context in which they got to it seems a little soulless to me. I mean, we have an oil tycoon who is dumping money aimlessly into the football program or into their athletic department down there. And I just never have lived in a world where that was viewed as this really cool thing. You know, I always thought money was evil. That's the way how we usually approach it in sports, right?
My parents raised me.
Yeah, the Yankees spend the most money. They're evil.
That's right.
They call them the evil empire, right? The team that has the most, the team that spends the most money is the team that you hate the most. And just because, you know, I guess what's the major league equivalent to this? Like the Pirates spending the most money all of a sudden? The Pirates spending like the Yankees? Or hell, the Royals spending like the Yankees or the A's spending like the Yankees one offseason? Would you all of a sudden be rooting for this because they're disruptive to the game? No, I feel like they're joining along with all the bad guys. You know? I also don't really love the precedent that it sets if they win. Because then what's going to happen is we're going to get a whole bunch of calls on this radio show, and people are going to call us and they'll say, where's Warren Buffett? Why can't he bankroll our entire program and get us to pay for all these guys? Just like Texas Tech did it, and they won. So why can't Warren Buffett do the same for me? And I do, like, I want to emphasize over and over and over again that I think this is really a unique situation that they have at Texas Tech. They found a guy who, for whatever reason, wants to, you know, take part of his wealth and dump it into Texas Tech with very little return on investment other than the pride of seeing his favorite school be good at stuff. Maybe, right? I mean, it's a big maybe in football. You gotta have all the other stuff to get you to that point too. And we have never really seen that. So to that point, like to the whole, we've never really seen this point. Okay. I guess I could see it from your angle in that perspective, but I'm not sitting here like, go Texas Tech, way to go,
break up the bad guys.
Yeah,
That's not how I see this.
Are we ready to call them a disruptor, or are they just doing like this is a brand new system, so there's no like, well, this is the way you do it. They're just trying it a different way.
They are
I mean, there's no system to disrupt right now because it's a fresh start for everyone, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's for now, and I guess we'll see how this whole clearinghouse thing goes. But
and I definitely don't want
they paid money. They paid big money. They saved big money at Menards.
Yeah.
They paid big money for this roster before the fresh slate came into play.
Okay.
Right? They front loaded the thing
Yeah.
and just were like, hey, you got and then they guaranteed rev share money, obviously, as well. They're gonna have to get rid of that too. But a lot of what they've done is accumulate, big pieces on this roster over the last year or so here in the days before all of that went into place.
I definitely don't want the team that spends the most to win the most. I don't want that to be a 1-to-1.
I do think if they win, they'll be viewed as some sort of a disruptor. But like you said, Josh, it will change. And I do think as the years go along in this new rev share thing, it will kind of start to steady out a little bit. I thought we were getting to that point with the NIL and the transfer portal stuff, and then we had to hit the big reset button again for God knows what reason. Chris writes in.
Hi, Chris.
Hard to think of Texas Tech as a plucky underdog when Scrooge McDuck is spending $8 gazillion on football.
Yeah.
Not good for the game. That's about where I'm at. Alex Lincoln writes in, but Happer Deloitte won't let them spend endlessly. As one anonymous administrator said in an athletic article a couple weeks ago, bleep Deloitte.
All right. Interesting.
That's running the NIL clearinghouse thing. And then Jeff writes in, isn't Creighton doing the same thing with its basketball team? I mean, they're spending a lot, but I don't think they're like full of 5 stars. They're still, Creighton is still creating basketball teams in the mold of Creighton basketball.
Okay.
This is very different from what Texas Tech has ever done and how they've won games in the past, I guess. But I'm a hunk. I'm a hunk.
That's right.
Don't take anything I say seriously. Just only pay attention to that time that I filled out the $1 through $5 Mac era roster earlier in the show. Remember those times?
I do.
All right, we're back with the poll questions, and we'll tell you what to watch. Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
on 1620 The Zone.
I hate you.
All right, to the polls at Happer Show and the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. One from yesterday's crossover is going next door, going to lunch.
I was with you. I don't think so.
But 66% say yes.
What?
Still going to lunch.
I mean, I guess by the letter of the law, yeah.
Technicality. A couple Matt McMaster poll questions today. Would Matt McMaster thrive? Ooh, this says in Long Island. What you meant was on Long Island.
Whatever.
I think he would do great on Long Island. Yeah. I try to tell people.
What about him or what about the island makes...
Well, because he
you
was
say
talking about how he doesn't really like, he's scared of big cities or something
Okay.
like that.
But he likes living adjacent to them.
Yeah, he likes living in the suburbs of them, I suppose.
He likes going into the city.
Yeah, Long Island is not a big. Yeah, it feels like the Midwest out there.
Wow,
it'd be just his style. It's Omaha. 57% say no. He would not thrive even on Long Island. Does Matt look like he's had an ingrown toenail before?
Yes.
84% say yes.
Every time you think you're over that cough of yours, we say something funny and break you.
Josh, every night I have a coughing fit.
Oh, no.
Last night I slept on the couch.
I think it's been a month, Connor.
It's been, I mean, the College World Series ended more than 3 weeks ago now, I think, or just about 3 weeks ago.
Are we
Are
we making calls? Are we?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sick. I just cough all the time.
You got the black lung?
I know that's the black lung pop. Do your parents remember Tony and Luigi's in Lincoln? No, mine don't. I can tell you that for a fact.
My parents were not big Lincoln goers, so I can't imagine they knew it either.
72% say no, but an interesting proposal there from Steve Sipple. We did get a comment on that.
Oh, okay.
That said, I'm 55 and I never got to go there, but I remember it well.
Oh.
Interesting.
Maybe this place is older than I thought.
Well, Sipple's an old man. Josh, those the polls. What are we watching tonight?
We're watching baseball this weekend. Mariners Tigers 6 o'clock tonight on Apple. Diamondbacks Angels 8:30 tonight on Apple. 9 o'clock tonight on MLB Network. It's Dodgers Giants
on Apple.
No, on MLB Network.
That'd be funny if everything was on Apple.
Apple. Could you imagine? Be hell. Major League Baseball tomorrow at noon. The Cubs are at Yankee Stadium. Big Fox tomorrow night. Phillies, Padres out west. No Sunday night baseball this weekend. So that we can all get the appropriate amount of rest for the All-Star game or something. I don't know what.
That's right. Yep.
Summer League in Vegas. The Celtics are about to take on Memphis at 3 o'clock on NBA TV. Watch Baylor Shireman, I guess.
Oh, from Southie.
Yes. 6 o'clock tonight on ESPN, the Jazz take on the Hornets, a.k.a. the Creighton Blue Jays, Ryan Kalkbrenner and Jemiah Neal.
And Con Knuppel.
Yes. Wow. Buzz.
Yeah, that's right.
WNBA this weekend, noon tomorrow on ABC, Minnesota, Chicago, and noon on Sunday. It's the Twins taking each other on. Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings taking on the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. They look exactly alike. You could confuse them if you were a Jeopardy contestant. The Wimbledon women's final tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. on ESPN. The American, Amanda Anisimova takes on the 8 seed Iga. I lost all confidence. Swiatek? SWAT team. Whoa.
Nice job, Josh.
10 a.m. to Sunday morning, ESPN. Carlos Alcaraz takes on Sinner.
Way to go.
Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano 3 tonight on Netflix. If you're a boxing fan, Paramount Plus has another reboot of Dexter that no one asked for.
Jeez.
And there's a new Medea movie on Netflix today. Destination Wedding. Medea packs her best floral dresses and a whole lot of chaos when the Simmons family heads to the Bahamas for her grandniece's whirlwind wedding.
Remember in Dodgeball when Globo Jim brings in Fran Dalanovskevich Davidsevich.
That's what it felt like.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's it for us today. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is coming up next.